for Shohei Ohtani. Tonight's ball game is brought to you by Nissan. It is showtime at the Big A. Angels, Astros, game 2 of 3. Shohei Ohtani is on the bump. He is 5-0 in his last 5 starts. His last 4 games, 0 earned runs and 40 strikeouts. Mark Gubaza, Patrick O'Neill, you did this for a living. I only watch it. I've never seen anything like it. How do you explain what we've seen from Ohtani?
I mean, he's so creative. We call him the creative one on the mound. His fastball, he's touching 101 miles an hour. His splitters, great. His sliders, curveball, his cutter. Last 5 starts in ERA 0.27. Just 16 hits allowed in those 5 starts. When you go back to his last 4, just 12 hits allowed, no earned runs, 40 strikeouts, 7 walks. Outstanding pitchability for Shohei Ohtani. I love the fact when guys get in a scoring position, he is in lockdown mode. He does not give up anything, and he's able to throw his slider upper part of the strike zone and still devastate with his splitter, one of the best pitches we've seen in a number of years in MLB.
Oh, and yet one more thing. He's batting leadoff here tonight.
This is not fair what he's done. Incredible.
Well, what else does he have up his sleeve? Something perhaps even more magical than we have seen of late. Can't wait to see what's in store next for Shohei. Ohtani pitching and batting leadoff versus the Houston Astros.
Unforgettable names, who at their very mention give fans goosebumps. Athletes who reside in the rarefied air beyond elite. Those who are no longer just competing against their fellow players. They are competing against history.
Swing and a miss! That's 12!
Shohei Ohtani is etching his name in that pantheon of immortals in the midst of an unprecedented month on the mound.
It is in there! A career-high 13 strikeouts for Shohei Ohtani.
The two-way all-star takes the hill one more time before the Midsummer Classic. Do you feel that? Shohei Ohtani is about to give us goosebumps again.
And now he is getting another opportunity to thrill us here tonight and snap a 5-game losing streak, something he has been accustomed to. He has been the stopper for this Angels team. He's 5-0 in his last 5, but going back to April 20th against this Astros team, perhaps was even better than the last 5.
Yeah, that was one of the best starts I've seen by any major league pitcher in a long, long time. My go-tos for Shohei to continue this stretch he is on right now. Breaking pitches for punch-outs, 87 strikeouts on his breaking pitches, and power his fastball on the outside corners, both the lefties and righties. When he's doing that, that sets up those excellent secondary pitches, especially those breaking balls and splitters.
And this Astros team, 21-6 in their last 27 games, which is a major league best. And they are in first place in the American League West by a long shot. Angels, a season high 12 games under 500. And we expect a solid crowd here tonight at the Big A. Great to have you alongside Mark Gubaza, Erica West, and I'm Patrick O'Neill, and we are underway. First pitch is in there for a strike to Altuve.
Knowing that Altuve swings the first pitch a lot and hits a fastball very well this season, starts him off with one of his nasty sliders.
Jose Altuve, an 8-time All-Star now, and is working with a 10-game hitting streak for Houston.
That's a good pitch right away, right on the outside corner, not called a strike though.
No, not C.B. Buckner behind the plate, and this is the Astros batting order for Dusty Baker, Altuve, McCormick, Tucker, then Bregman, Gurriel, Maticevic, Pena, Myers, and Maldonado. Astros at 57-29. Picked up their 30th road win last night. Up and in to Altuve. Look out.
That'll bring a smile on your face, and happy it didn't go any further inside on that one. Especially he paints the outside corner, which could have been and should have been 0-2, up and in with a fastball at 98. And when you're not expecting, you're expecting a secondary pitch, you can see how late that reaction was for Altuve, up and in.
Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss on the fastball. 2-2.
676 slugging, OPS of 1082 versus fastballs, and Shohei challenged him with a fastball, got it by him at 97. For Altuve, who loves hitting fastballs.
Here's the 2-2. Bounces that in there. Went to the split. We have a full count. Altuve with a leadoff walk last night versus Noah Syndergaard. Ended up scoring a run. And just like Noah, perhaps the first inning is that inning for Shohei to get a feel. Long wait for this 3-2 pitch. Halos overload the left side. And he draws a walk. You've got to remember that one pitch that wasn't called, and Altuve is aboard. Defense behind Ohtani. Marsh, Taylor Ward is in center. No Mike Trout in the lineup tonight. Joe Adell, welcome back. He has been recalled and is getting the start, hitting fifth. VR Velasquez at short, Rengifo and Walsh, and catching here tonight for Ohtani is Max Stassi.
No, getting in that start, his first since June 10th out in right field. 4 career outfield assists for Joe Adell. 40 games down in Salt Lake City, and he's got to deal with that sun early on here. So any fly ball that way becomes an even more difficult play to make.
Last 15 games, putting up some big numbers, hitting 300. Adell just flew in today, was in a great mood, Gooby. And Monte Harrison DFA'd. And Adell is back. Erica Weston will have more on Mike Trout, who spoke to the media today. Give us some results on some tests. If he'll even be available perhaps tonight to pinch hit, stay tuned for that. There's Chas McCormick. And there's Manny Gonzalez at first base. Said he did in fact go. We'll take a look.
Yeah, definitely almost a full swing on that one.
McCormick getting the start in left field tonight for the Astros.
Good fastball here tonight. Hyundai key for the game tonight. Oh, a little Nelly today. Ride with me. Shohei Ohtani has been the guy that stops these losing streaks. He's willing to take that on his back as far as on the pitching mound and also swinging the bat. So ride with me. Shohei Ohtani is trying to break this losing streak and get a winning streak going here tonight.
Well, as many Halo fans would say to Shohei, needs you here tonight. Got him.
Boy, after some good hard fastballs, went nasty slider. The depth of that pitch. McCormick thought he was on that too, the lower part of the strike zone, but that late break to it. Another punch out for Shohei. This becomes an interesting matchup here for Tucker. We know, and we said often how he swings at the first pitch, but he's really good on breaking balls. And Shohei loves to throw his first pitch slow curveball. I wonder if he goes away from that and goes a fastball here.
Last night, Tucker with that double ended up being the player of the game in a 6-5 Houston victory. And he did in fact go with that slow get over curveball.
He's always ready to swing at the first pitch. It's amazing his numbers versus breaking pitches this year. 8 home runs. An OPS over 1,000, 1,003 versus breaking pitches.
Love how you knew exactly he was going to go with the curveball and Tucker was sitting on it. That's outstanding. 0-2 to the first-time All-Star. So longest inning pitch streaks, no earned runs. Halo pitchers last 50 seasons. Lackey went 30 2/3. Rudy May 30 73. Ohtani at 29, and then Nolan Ryan at 28, 1975. Last 50 seasons.
Yes, you're seeing Nolan Ryan at the top of every category when it comes to pitching in Halo history.
Came in at 28 2/3, and we update it just like that. Altuve, it's a late break. You heard Ohtani saying, hey, hey, but Altuve is in there. So runner in scoring position for Kyle Tucker.
Trying to get him to chase a splitter. Keeps it in front, tries to pick. And Tucker doesn't have to move at that point. If it's over the plate, he has to get out of the way, but he doesn't have to move, and that's why that throw was a lot more difficult for Max Stassi.
Scored a stolen base for Altuve. We were waiting on the official ruling.
I guess it was a delayed steal, otherwise that would be on the pitch in dirt. And Shohei, that would be the first stolen base he has allowed this season.
Two and two.
I think Altuve was moving on that one as a delayed steal. So you can never assume that they're going to be thrown out, so he gets a stolen base out of that.
First of the season against Ohtani. Two to Tucker. Off the plate, full count.
As they're going after two splitters in this sequence. Remember, dominated the Astros down in Houston. 1-1 this season with an ERA 0.84 for Shohei against the Astros. Oh, but this 1-3 in his career.
Those 5 innings on April 20th in Houston. Insane, perfect. And 10 strikeouts in the 5 innings. They ended up going 6. The fact that in that game he had 20 swings and misses. But how many were in the strike zone?
Yeah, that's just a great view. Only 2 in the entire strike zone. That's our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. 11 on a slider, 6 splitter, 2 curves, and 1 4-seam fastball. But when you see that picture, where some of those pitches were and how far off the plate, that tells you how good his stuff was that night.
Big battle with Tucker, and he got him.
And right on cue, he gets a chase well out of the strike zone on a curveball, a pitch that Tucker hits very well. Starts in the strike zone, ends up below it. A chase out of the zone.
The creativity that you brought up at the start of the show.
I just love how you could see that break on that pitch, where it starts out of his hand and where it ends up.
So leadoff walk to Altuve, delayed steal, got into scoring position, back-to-back strikeouts, and now it's Alex Bregman with 2 down here, top of the first inning.
Bregman, some pretty good numbers in his career versus Ohtani, but when you go back to that game in Houston where he dominated 6 shutout innings, only 1 hit allowed, 12 strikeouts, I remember him walking back to the dugout, shaking his head going, wow, his stuff was excellent. And he doesn't do that too often for pitchers, opposing pitchers.
Fastball inside, 2-0. Bregman 4 for 11 versus Ohtani, 3-0. Yuli Gurriel on deck. First base open.
He'll be swinging 3-0 though.
New this year, as we brought up numerous times, pitch comm. Communication from the catcher to the pitcher with that speaker inside the cap. 3-0 pitch.
3-0 slider. Wow.
That was
amazing.
Yeah. Remember the 3-0, was it a 3-0 slider he threw to Castro when he had that perfect game? Was it 3-0? That he just shook his head on. Ended up getting that hit to break it up.
21 pitches for Shohei, 11 so far out of the strike zone.
Swing and a miss.
And my theory behind that, Patrick, is now with 22, 11, 11, he's being perfect on his spots because he knows he's facing a very good team lineup-wise, but also he knows he's facing a very good pitcher on the other side, Christian Javier, who's been outstanding. So he knows he has to make great pitches after great pitches.
This Astros offense in the month of July has been league best. That's a ground ball. Velasquez is there, throws across. Ohtani gets out of it. Leadoff walk. Nothing comes of it, and he's leading off. Houston Astros, top half of the first. Transition from pitcher to leadoff hitter. This is how it's done.
It's amazing. This preparation is not only physically but mentally to be ready in these games, like especially when you're facing a team like the Astros and knowing how important it is to be able to put up a 0, facing a very good pitcher, and then he's swinging the bat.
And Phil Nevin is shaking up this lineup a little bit. No Mike Trout today. Here's Ohtani leading off, followed by Ward, Rengifo, and Walsh. Then there's Joe Adell, who is back hitting fifth, playing right. Jonathan Villar at third, Max Stassi, Brandon Marsh, and Andrew Velasquez. So Ohtani, Ward, Rengifo in the 3 spot. Christian Javier, last time the Angels saw him, he had 14 strikeouts, and his last 3 starts have just been unreal. He's really pitching at a top level, one of the best in the game.
And he throws a ton of fastballs, and my go-tos to have success against him here tonight is what you got to try to do against his fastball. You got to bring that fastball down in the lower zone. You have a better shot than when he tries to run it upstairs. And don't chase those non-strike sliders, because he will get a lot of swing and misses off the plate with that sharp slider.
So here we go. Ohtani does have 2 career home runs off Javier. Very close pitch, call a ball from C.B. Buckner. No score here, bottom of the first. Swing and a miss.
That's the impressive thing. You just threw, what, 23, 24 pitches at the top of the first, and you're swinging that hard. At the bottom of the first is the leadoff man.
One from Javier. That's in there. 1-2.
See, the way he releases the ball, Javier, it gives it that illusion where it just rides up in the strike zone. It stays on a true plane. His fastball is 4-seamer, and he throws a lot of them. It's 61%.
Basically features 2 pitches, but very effectively. Ohtani sends that into the seats, off to the left side.
We get a real good view of the release point when he delivers the baseball. How out of that wrist, we talk about to be able to ride that baseball up. You have that loose wrist where he gets in that arm angle and the wrist angle where he rides it up in the strike zone so effectively. And it's not upper 90s, it's mid 90s, but it's so effective upstairs.
Also in that game on April 20th in Houston, you know, we say this a lot about Shohei doing something that's never been done before. He hit twice in the first inning, and that has never happened before. The pitcher has thrown the first pitch of the game. Top of the first, Angels hit around.
So far, patient at bat for Shohei. He's trying to tell himself to stay back on the baseball. He's pitching him away, which he does a lot. So he's got to think, drive it away. McCormick's playing him towards the line and deep and left. That means he's going to pitch him away.
Swing and a miss. He struck out. 1 down.
63 strikeouts now with his fastball. 63. And he has a whiff percentage coming in the game at just about 28% with a fastball. That's how impressive it is. The usage of his four-seamer, fourth most in baseball. Batting average allowed is 159, and he mentioned 62 now, 63 strikeouts with his four-seamer.
Taylor Ward steps in, takes the ball inside. Javier making his 13th start. The numbers are fantastic, as you talk about, but just his overall opponent batting average is at 177. This Angels offense looking for a spark.
So you look at the amount of hits allowed by him and even the walks, yet he's got an ERA just a little bit over 3, which is still a very good ERA. So you think, okay, he gives up multiple runs in innings where you can't bunch hits together, so you get base runners and then a home run is how you score against him. You got to put yourself in position to get a couple guys on base and then capitalize on one of those fastballs.
Javier just put together a stretch. Astros history, striking out 2+ batters in an inning. He ran it to 13 innings. Just the third player since '61 to do it, period.
There's that slider out of the strike zone.
That's back-to-back strikeouts.
And his fastball already in this game has been at 96. He's averaged around 93 miles an hour on his fastball. But you know what? Sometimes when you're facing a guy like Shohei Ohtani, you go to that next level as a pitcher. Trust me on that one. You go to the next level. Everyone says, well, you're not facing well, he is facing Shohei Ohtani. But most times you're not facing, you know, the opposing pitcher. But you know who's on that mound, the other side, and you know how limited amount of mistakes you can make. So your game is going to that next level. Oh. And you're seeing it already here in the first two batters for Christian Javier.
Javier doesn't have to pick up a bat and face Ohtani, but Ohtani has to face him. Here's Luis Rengifo just off the plate for a ball. Switch hitter hitting third. Doesn't hit third often, but getting an opportunity with Mike Trout out of the lineup here tonight. Two and 0. Javier lost his last outing versus Kansas City. Snapped a 3-game winning streak. Right up the middle and off the glove. Pena, and that's going to be a 2-out knock for Rengifo.
I like what Luis was thinking out of the batter's box. Off the glove opinion. He was thinking extra base hit. Myers covers a lot of ground out in center field, but he was thinking right away, as soon as that ball went off the glove, I got to get into scoring position. So he was thinking and hustling hard down the line, thought about it, but a wise decision because Myers got to that baseball well. And you can see that range, Jeremy Pena. We saw how strong his arm is already in this series.
Yeah, last night, similar play off the glove of Walsh. Bregman hit that ball, and Bregman ended up legging a double out of it. Rengifo at first base, the 2-out single. Here's Jared Walsh.
Walsh this season, though, much better on fastballs. So be ready to hit the fastball. 293 with 8 home runs versus fastballs this season.
Defense behind Christian Javier for the Astros here tonight. McCormick, Myers, and Tucker. Left to right, infield, third to first, Bregman, Pena, Altuve, Gurriel. And doing the catching once again is Martin Maldonado.
Bregman, 977 fielding percentage, 4th best in the majors amongst third basemen. Has turned 17 double plays also this year. I still go back to when they won the World Series. Was at 17. His defense at third base was off the charts. He made a number of outstanding defensive plays at third base. Drafted as a shortstop, so he has the hands as a shortstop, but he was outstanding at third base.
One ball, two strikes to the Angels first baseman. Two outs. Renifo at first. No score here. Bottom of the first.
In the first inning this year, Javier hasn't really, a lot of innings have given up a lot, but in the first inning he's given up 3 home runs in the first inning, 6 earned runs. No pickoffs in his career. 5 stolen bases in 7 attempts, 10 stolen bases in 15 attempts in his career.
Breaking ball misses, 2-2.
I'd like to see a fastball here, see if he could drive one in the air. Warm enough day right now, you'll have some carry if you get it up there in right center field on a fastball.
And breaking ball in there. Javier strikes out the side. No score. We head to the second. Cam replay. April 20th of this year. Ohtani, not only did he pick up his first win and pitch one of the best games we've ever seen, but it all started in the first inning when he hit twice before he threw a pitch, and then he had 12 strikeouts in 6+ innings. It was insane what we saw.
And there was a couple batters in there. Michael Brantley does not strike out. He struck out in that game. Bregman, the same thing. His stuff was so good that day. I was actually thinking perfect game in that one for Shohei.
Yeah, had my heart racing, that's for sure. That was his first win of the season. He was 0-2 coming into that start. How efficient was he? Well, compared to Chris Sale back in 2018, 6 innings, 1 hit, 12 strikeouts. 12+ strikeouts, 1 hit, 0 earned runs in 6 innings or less.
That's amazing. That's 2 incredibly good arms, too. When you think Chris Sale from that arm angle he throws at, and then Shohei with all the pitches he throws.
Well, he's back out there facing Yuli Gurriel, ahead 0-2.
I wonder if Shohei's going to be the same way he always is, so creative against a guy who doesn't hit fastballs well this season. If he sticks with fastballs against him, especially 0-2.
That one popped up, out of play. The 12th meeting between the Astros and the Angels. Houston's taken the first 8 or 8-3 so far in the 11 played.
So he's spiked a couple splitters so far, 1 at 90 and 1 at 92. He is throwing that splitter hard. Usually it takes a little bit of time for Shohei Ohtani to get a feel for his splitter. And he muscled up on this splitter, and it goes straight down. You can see a great view of that when that was just barely got to the dirt.
Got him, 100. Triple digits, 3rd strikeout, 1 down.
And going against a guy who's struggling with a fastball, went after him with a fastball in a breaking ball count for Shohei at 100 miles an hour. Right down the heart of the plate, showed him the Benjamins on that one, 100.
J.J. Matijevic. 1 out here, top of the second. Strike 1.
How do you throw 100 miles an hour and then the very next
You're asking me?
8. That's amazing. As a hitter there, you see that pitch in the on-deck circle, and you could see why he had that reaction. That was a better splitter. And again, the lower part of the strike zone. C.B. Buckner's, for both sides so far, not given corners so far.
Matichevic's first ever look at Ohtani. Hit well, but there's the shift on. Velasquez got him. What a play.
That baseball was hit hard, but also on the backhand as an infielder, you're so used to Shohei's going, what a play. Andrew Velasquez, because that baseball is going to stay low on the outfield grass. Goes from the dirt and it skips. And he knows he's got to get rid of it quickly. What a play by Andrew Velasquez, who hasn't got as much playing time as earlier this season, but an outstanding defensive play again by Andrew Velasquez, and Shohei going, wow, that's a good play. And that goes down as a 6-3, even though it's in right field.
Yes. Squid game. Now traditional defensive alignment for the infield to face Jeremy Pena. Oh, gets the corner that time. Strike one.
Don't see that too often where Jeremy Pena is not swinging at the first pitch. And that's the time that I think you can go a little bit further off the plate with one of your secondary pitches.
And he does. 0-2.
Remember, he struck him out a couple times down in Minute Maid Park on 3 pitches. Got him a chase, his slider off the plate, 0-2.
He was checking in with Stassi. Got his attention for this pitch, the 0-2. Off the plate, 1-2.
Not quite competitive enough, close enough to the strike zone to get a swing there. But still sharp slider from Shohei.
Doesn't show him the heater. Got him. That's 4 strikeouts for Ohtani. And he's retired 6 in a row. Goy. No score to the bottom of the second.
No Mike Trout in the starting lineup tonight. He is still confident there will not be a stint on the injured list. He says he could be available to pinch hit coming off the bench tonight, but he was removed in the 5th inning last night. In fact, it was Phil Nevin who decided to take Trout out of the game last night. He said he didn't like the way that he was moving around in the outfield, but Trout told me before the game today he's feeling much better. They did do some testing last night, an MRI and a CT scan on the back. All came back clean. Just some soft tissue that they're working through. That's according to head athletic trainer Mike Frosted. But Trout said it's something he's been dealing with for about a week and a half. Started bothering him when the team was in Miami, but he says he's still confident he'll play in the All-Star game. Just hoping it's a day or two, guys.
And he almost cracked you up there, Erica, with a little glance at the camera. Almost, I say. But meanwhile, Joe Adell is backing up. Angels fans have been waiting for this. What was your chat like with Adell?
Yeah, he's very excited to be back. In fact, he told me he's had a process the last couple of weeks that he's really been confident in. And as far as being out there in right field today, he says he's about 50-50 playing right and left field back when he was down with the Salt Lake Bees. But he's had a great dialogue with Phil Nevin, who's reached out to him repeatedly just to make sure he's been doing the right things. But he said that's a guy that's been in the big leagues forever. He's managed around players forever. He said, I just got here about 30 minutes ago this afternoon. He sat down and he talked with me. So he's been around. His word means something.
Okay, Erica, thanks. We'll catch up with you throughout the game. Yeah, Adell was just in a great mood this afternoon. 40 games at AAA, but a couple of different stints. The second time down, Gooby, he wasn't thrilled about it, but he put his head down. He got to work, and he's been playing very well of late.
Yeah, he has, and I like what Phil Nevin has said. Every day somebody asks about when is Joe Adell coming back up, and he says, I've had a constant conversation with our player development people down in AAA, and I'm keeping tabs on him. He just firmly believes he's a big fan of Joe Adell. He knows he's going to at some point just be the player that everyone expects him to be. That's a tough slider he chased. but everyone expects him to be that player, and Phil Nevin is right behind him in that part as far as a lot of confidence in him.
Yeah, slider gets Adele, and meanwhile, Christian Javier has struck out for the first 5 Angels batters. Remember, he had 14 Ks versus the Halos.
He now has 106 strikeouts in 76 innings pitched this season. And so when you think of strikeouts on this staff, you think of Verlander, you think of maybe even Framber Valdez, but you didn't really think Christian Javier. But he's been a guy that bounced around a little bit beforehand as far as down in the bullpen. And here now part of the rotation. Now, what have you been in part of the rotation if Odorizzi hadn't got hurt?
So highest strikeout percentage, minimum 10 starts. There's Ohtani at 34.4 and Javier at 34.1 on the list. McClanahan, Cease, and Scherzer.
That's some amazing names up there. He's really amped up today. His fastball velocity is a lot higher than normal too.
And as you see Jonathan VR hitting .211 with 2 homers, 15 RBI, you think this is, I mean, we've seen him pitch very well, but he's raising his level because of who's on the other side.
Yeah, definitely. And you always do that.
Yep. Nolan Ryan would be a guy that you faced numerous times. We're trying to think who are some of the other pitchers.
Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson. When you face those guys, you knew if you got 1 or 2 runs of support, you better make that hold up. So you were going to a next level when you face those guys.
1-2 to VR. 2-2.
So 93.8 is his average fastball normally coming into this game. 95.3 so far in this game. That's that next level you go to when you're facing somebody like Shohei Ohtani. And when you have success against an opponent, he's 3-0 with an ERA 1.95 against the Angels in his career. So you come in with confidence, but you also know that you can't make mistakes at all. One hanging break ball or fastball that someone squares up could result in a loss. And you're facing somebody like Shohei Ohtani.
Pitching and defense, pitching specifically for this Astros team, first across the board in the American League. That's a walk for VR. And we'll give you a quick word from Hyundai.
It's your journey. Own it in the Hyundai Santa Fe.
Second base runner for the Halos. 1 out. Here's Max Stassi.
VR with 7 stolen bases on the season. You know, you got to try to create opportunities to score. So you wonder if Phil Nevin doesn't have VR running right away here.
A perfect 7-0 on stolen base attempts. And say no swing as they check with Manny Gonzalez at first base. 1-0.
It's interesting watching Altuve. If a ground ball to third base, he was trying to make sure Bregman knew where to throw the base because he's going to run right into that sunshine at second base. Altuve was going to Bregman. You got to throw a baseball at a certain angle because if he's covering the bag at that angle, it's going right into the sunshine at second base. You see the sunshine right on the base.
So instead of walking on sunshine, running into sunshine.
See that sunshine right on the base. That's how you get to be one of the best fielding teams. That communication to know and let your other infielders know exactly where to make that throw and have success with the throw at second base.
Fastball upstairs, swung through by Stassi. 1-2. In on the hands and off the plate, 2-2. This Astros team here in 2022 on a bit of a historic pace as far as franchise history is concerned and winning percentage. Heading into the All-Star break, currently second best ever. Runner goes, good jump by VR and up the middle. Oh, and that's going to get through. So first and third, putting the VR on the move there. Gooby opened up a little space.
Like that. Anytime you get the defense movement, it gives you a better opportunity to get a hit like that and right back up the middle. Max Stassi got a fastball, and so far in this game, a little over 76% of his pitches are fastballs. And he brought that fastball down. Better opportunity to get the barrel on it, and just by Altuve.
Actually, Altuve was moving that direction to cover the bag. Fortunate that got through. Something brewing here for the Halos in the second. Only one out, 2 on for Brandon Marsh.
Brandon knows that fastball that Javier will throw to him. He has to hit that ball to left center or center. Much better with runners on. Need to get this run home.
With Ohtani having the mindset on the hill of just give me one. There's an opportunity if that stays fair. Oh, what a play. Safe at home.
Tell you what, that was a really good play by Javier. I can't believe he had the presence of mind to throw the home. He almost had a shot at it. Nice job there for Brandon Marsh getting it done. That'll be an infield single and an RBI.
VR scores 1-0 Angels.
It's called playing catch with the bat. Dead in the baseball. An elevated pitch is not easy to get down. And that checked up really good. Pretty close play. Good read by VR. So he's on the move. Goes on a hit and run. Goes to third base and scores on this bunt hit.
Nice English on that baseball. Brought it back into fair territory. Off the bat, I didn't necessarily think it was going to stay fair, but beautifully executed by Marsh.
Yeah, you don't see that often on this field where a lot of times it will hit and roll like that, but good job by Brandon Marsh. I guess everybody on that PGA Tour, the U.S. Open, would love that kind of chip shot on the green to be able to make it stick like that. Always hard to do that.
Yeah, well, with the Open Championship underway tomorrow, that's Lynx style. You're right. That's going to get a lot of run. I can ask you tomorrow your pick for the championship, too, by the way. There's Andrew Velasquez. 1-1. Dropped a knuckle curve on him there.
Doesn't throw a high percentage of curveballs, about 7%. It's mainly fastball, slider. That's about 88% of his pitches are those two.
How about what he's working with here today?
And this is about 79% four-seamer. And it's been a good one and a firm one. Slider 13 and curveball about 8%. There's that fastball that Max Stassi hit back up the middle with VR on the move.
Just off the plate, 2-2. Bobby V.
Get real close.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
That's really camera shy.
He's always the politician, is he not? He's getting some votes out there. Bobby Valentine. The camera finds him. It's awesome.
Did he wave that camera down to him? Hey, come here.
Did I say the camera finds him? He's probably getting mileage.
Velasquez is looking for maybe a little flare into the outfield.
Back to that curveball. Fouled off. Andrew Velasquez, who has seen his playing time reduced, got the start tonight and made a tremendous play in this shift.
By the way, Patrick, it was interesting. Christian Javier fielded that ground ball, and then C.P. Buckner gave him the new ball, but he had both of those baseballs in his hand and glove.
Okay.
I'm not saying it. You know, he didn't throw the right one away, wrong one away, but yeah, it looks like he kept that in the throwing hand and threw it away. But hey, I wouldn't object to that.
You know what? They never let a
hit a ball trick and switch it up.
And swing and a miss. Velasquez strikes out. When you pitched, how often would they throw a ball out?
Never.
No, you would use the same baseball. How often do they let a pitcher now use the same baseball that has been put in play?
There's never. Even at the end of the inning, either the catcher would roll the ball back, and it was a game they would play. See if they could roll back and keep it on the top of the mound. Or same thing as a first baseman.
Yeah, that
baseball was never kept in play anymore. It all started really when they were trying to bring fans back after the strike in '94 and the '95. That we saw more and more players giving baseballs to fans in the stands, which I think is a great idea. But as a pitcher, sometimes you want those baseballs to still be in play after it's been hit on the ground, or maybe potentially every once in a while skips and hits that shin guard of a catcher.
Yep. All right, so an opportunity for your starting pitcher to help himself out big time here. 2 down, runner in scoring position, and Max Stassi. Change up there. Okay, take me through this, because this is mind-blowing here.
I mean, he's at the all-time highest minimum of 300 bats slugging percentage with runners in scoring position. Then you flip it on the other side. The lowest slugging percentage allowed a 210 all-time for pitching with 25 starts, minimum 25 starts. Those numbers for me, all the numbers we talk about Shohei, those numbers are unreal.
Ohtani drives that down the right field line. Help yourself out, big fella. 1 run comes in. Stassi scores. Ohtani digging for third. A 2-run triple. Marsh scores. 3-0 Halos. Come on.
Right on cue. Shohei, runners in scoring position, lines a triple down the right field line, driving in 2 more. Unbelievable. Unbelievable numbers, unbelievable player, and unbelievably quick hands. Right down in the corner. Gets out in that corner, and Tucker gets down there quickly. Plays it well, but Shohei, with his speed, he's thinking, all right, double. Then he picks it up, he goes, you know what? I'm going to go 3. With his stride, slides in there. Why not, as a pitcher, with a triple?
Second triple of the year. There's no one like him. And the Unicorn does it again.
That's all you can do is just smile. I mean, Michael Lorenz is just looking like, how's that possible? He's looking like,
he's the only one. Well, he's the only one that might know how to do it. Here's Taylor Ward. 3-0 Angels here in the second. 2 more RBIs for Shohei Ohtani. It gives him 56.
And it goes back to when you look at the numbers for Christian Javier, and the numbers, hits and walks, his whip, well under 1. So you have to think you got to bunch those hits together and score multiple runs in an inning before he gets back into settle down mode. And they have so far with 3 in this inning.
With Ohtani at third, 2 down, 3-0 count to Ward. Izzy
Yes.
on it, fouls it back, 3-1. Three and two. This is a special stretch of baseball from number 17. A chance here for number 3, Taylor Ward, to add on. The 3-2. Went with the off speed and he struck him out. Angels get 3. Captain Caveman laying down a perfect bunt. VR digs in to score the first run, and then Ohtani drives in 2 with his second triple. Is he winded? Not a chance. He's about to take the hill with the Angels leading 3-0. 17th career triple, and the Angels lead 3-0. Time for the Bounty quick stats. 3 straight starts, 10+ Ks, 0 earned runs, 6 pitchers in MLB history. Shohei Ohtani has joined a very exclusive list.
Amazing, and every day we talk about these lists, and Shohei Ohtani is jumping on with some of the greats in the game now and in the history of the game. Shohei Ohtani, just phenomenal what he's doing on the mound already tonight. We saw what he did at the plate with a 2-run triple, but already with 4 punch-outs in the game. He's touched 100. He's had that slider working. He hasn't even quite had the feel yet for his splitter, which generally will come along as the game progresses. Once he gets that one working along with his slider and 100, the velo, watch out for Shohei.
And he's faced 7 batters, 5 of which he's thrown first pitch strikes, and it's the variety in his game, in his arsenal, because he's thrown 84, 76, 95, 77, 85. He keeps everybody guessing on their toes. Jake Meyers leading off. We're in the top of the third, 3-0 Angels.
And you got to believe at some point now the Astros, because they don't want to deal with secondary pitches for Shohei, they're going to be aggressive on the first pitch. They've had a lot of guys in this lineup with a lot of good numbers on the first pitch, but you don't want to fall behind. And Shohei knows that and recognizes. He tried to paint an outside corner fastball. Felt he hit his spot, but it was a little bit off the plate.
The 1-0. And yes, he did swing 1-1. Myers not so sure. He held up. Of all the great players, Scooby, and you've met a lot, played with some of the greats like George Brett, for instance, when they see Ohtani do something like that we just saw at the triple, you know, and what he's accomplished.
I mean, everyone's a fan. I still think of somebody like CC Sabathia, who is on his way to the Hall of Fame. He is, every day he's just marveled at what he sees from Shohei Ohtani. He's one of my favorite pitchers. I mean, he's a guy that is going to be a free agent pitcher, pitched on 3-day rest when he was with Milwaukee to get him in the postseason, ended up signing a big deal with the Yankees. The ultimate warrior on the mound, and he sees and he's this shakes his head. And I know he's going to be out for the All-Star game. That's going to be one of the first people he goes and runs over and shakes his hand to. CC Sabathia is just a huge fan of Shohei Ohtani.
Drops that in there for a strike with the slider, 2-2. Ohtani 2 straight years voted in as a DH and selected as a pitcher. I guess the question remains, how will he be used in the All-Star game? And the first American League player just signed up for the Home Run Derby, a rookie. And Julio Rodriguez, J-Rod, Velasquez to his left, throws across. And for a little bit more on what Ohtani might do in the All-Star game, and Erica Weston, what do we think? Is he going to be starting pitcher? Is he going to be in the home run derby? What have you found out?
I don't think he's going to be in the home run derby, but I'm not going to confirm or deny that. But Phil Nevin and Dusty Baker did chat before the game today just about usage as far as Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani is concerned. But Dusty did say that Ohtani is in the mix to start the game. As far as details, that's pretty much all we got. We know Shohei batted leadoff in last year's All-Star game as well, so will he do that again? We'll see. He's also got Jose Altuve on his team, so who knows?
Oh, that might get through for a hit, and it does. Thank you, Erica. Yeah, we'll wait and see. Maybe see if we can twist Dusty Baker's arm. Martin Maldonado.
And he was up there hacking first pitch, got a slider to one that gets over the plate, and he just went right back up the middle once it gets by Shohei with the shift on.
And Maldonado was, Ohtani's first catcher, right? When he came up with the bigs, they were tremendous friends.
Yeah, they hit it off right away. His first camp in Tempe for Shohei and Martin Maldonado. But right now he's not a friend. You got a hit?
No.
Got to believe he's up there hacking first pitch now.
Jose Altuve, one out, one on. Swing and a miss. He was indeed hacking. The boos raining down, and then the cheers on the miss.
He's grounded into 7 double plays. Shohei with already 3 ground ball outs. Not a high percentage of ground ball rate this season. Almost 39%, but 3 ground ball outs so far for Shohei.
Maldonado with the first hit of the game for the Astros. They'll be teammates on Tuesday in the All-Star game. And it was good to hear Erica's report that Mike Trout not in danger of missing that All-Star game. But he is definitely dealing with something, and it's been an uncomfortable situation. But hope to get him back soon. Fastball's in there, 1-2.
99-mile-an-hour fastball. Shohei's touched 100 today. He's touched 99. Average fastball, a little over 97 miles an hour. And because of Maldonado's at first, Jared Walsh is able to get off the bag a little bit more just in case Altuve hits something to the right side of the infield.
One-two, he got him. 101. Altuve is going to walk back, shaking his head. My goodness.
So he's won 100, now 101. A little Ventura Freeway, the 101.
Most pitchers in the big leagues, 91 freeway is what they live at. This guy's on the 101. Incredible. Chas McCormick, slider, swing and a miss, 0-1. Ohtani with 5 strikeouts. Two RBI in the game.
Still not quite at the feel for a splitter yet. But that's what's so amazing about Shohei, is his ability to use his other pitches. And his slider percentage, nearly 45% coming into the game, 32%. Fastball coming in the game, 38%, 34% so far.
Here's the 1-1.
How do you throw 100 mile an hour? You're still reacting to make sure everyone's okay with that foul ball in the stands.
It's only one man that can do it. We're looking at him.
Usually when you think of somebody throwing 100, 101 miles an hour, they're falling towards, if they're a righty, falling towards the first base side, or a lefty, the same thing, third base side. He's still in really good fielding position. He uses that lower half of his body exceptionally well, and he's still already and always balanced delivering the baseball.
The 1-2. Pops that one up. It's got some carry. Joe Adell is there. And Ohtani gets out of it. He's throwing absolute gas here. 101. Strikes out Jose Altuve. That's his reaction, and that's Ohtani's. Oh, yeah. Advanced technology and award-winning safety. Visit buyhyundai.com. Or see your SoCal Hyundai dealers today. By Jack in the Box, introducing the new $5.99 double bacon cheesy Jack combo at Jack in the Box. Order on the new Jack app today. And by your Southern California Cadillac dealers. Well, we are seeing some history here tonight once again. Look at the stride.
When you talk about catching a four-seam fastball out in front, and slides in easily on a triple. Perfect form on the slide too. And Mike Gallego's looking like, wow, did I just witness that?
17 career triples for the reigning AL MVP, the Rookie of the Year. He's a two-time All-Star. Man, he is something special. Here's Luis Rengifo. For Christian Javier, every out he's recorded has been a strikeout, but the Angels with 3 runs on 4 hits. Back-to-back knuckle curves. He's showing that a little bit more than usual.
Couple of hits last inning were versus his four-seam fastball, Stassi, and then Ohtani.
Ohtani is a pitcher, 8-4, looking to tie his career high, which was last year, 9 wins. And also be the stopper. It's been a tough stretch for sure for the Angels. We all know that. But every time he's taken the hill, he has stopped a losing streak. The last 5. The Angels are working on a 5-game losing streak right here. Lost 9 of 10, and Houston is one of the best teams, second best team in all of baseball, only to the Yankees. That's another strikeout. That's 7 for Javier, 1 down.
Luis has done a really nice job this season of laying off that breaking ball down and in, but could not lay off of that.
Walsh is 0 for 1. Just off the plate. So he's really showing that secondary stuff. Change up there, curveball.
He's about just 5% changeup usage. He's been throwing a few more curveballs and now a changeup. That's a good sign. Then he's not as comfortable this throwing and attacking the zone exclusively with his four-seam fastball.
.3-0 count here to Walsh. One out, bottom of the third. Off the plate. 4 outside of the zone. So with Walsh at first base, got to tell you about the Coca-Cola Angels Family Fun Pack. It's only $44. You get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 soft drinks. For more info regarding the Coca-Cola Angels Family Fun Pack, visit angels.com/funpack. Fun Pack. Some cute kids right there.
Oh, awesome. Yes.
Let's go, Angels. All right. Joe Adell now. He's back. What do you think is most important for Joe Adell this return to the big leagues?
Just watching his batting practice, he had a couple of mammoth home runs to dead center field, and he stayed that approach. You can still turn on it. He can drive the ball out the right center, but center field, that's where his power is. Ball will jump off his bat if he's using that barrel well. And staying back on the baseball, keeping that hip in, and balance at the plate. But I just loved what he was doing in batting practice today. Just a few baseballs he pulled. He stayed back, big part, drove it out to dead center.
Got the word last night after the game. Jumped on a flight today. Here he is in the lineup with Ohtani on the bump. He has tremendous belief in himself. He had to put the work in down at AAA. Oh, what a play by Maldonado.
That's not an easy ball to scoop either. That's a breaking ball that spins in the dirt. Maldonado made it look easy. A Gold Glove winner.
One out, one on, the 2-2. Foul back.
We finally got one of those spinning backup sliders. He had a pretty good hack at it.
He's going to be fouled out into the seats for a souvenir.
We can work in this inning. Already at 68 pitches. We're in the third inning.
Joe Adell, just 23 years old, barely. First round pick by the Angels, 10th overall, 2017. Here's the 2-2 to Adell. MLB draft is coming up this Sunday. Angels have 13th overall selection. Hearing Drew Jones, son of Andrews, perhaps going to be going.
Saw some pretty good highlights of him already, yeah.
Possibly number 1 overall. Baltimore is on a hot streak as the number 1 overall pick.
They're in position right now. They're up 7-1 to win their 10th game in a row.
Well, you just never know. Here's the 2-2. Grounded, just foul past Bregman. That would have given Adell a chance to bust out the wheels. Certainly looks like he's kept himself in pretty good shape there at AAA. Lean and mean. And his sprint speed is absolute elite. So hi to the Adele family watching. As your young man has made it back to the show. Nice little battle here for Adele, seeing a lot of pitches and driving that pitch count up.
Luis Rengifo had a 10-pitch at bat last night. It ended up working a walk, and it was a big walk in that game. 10th pitch coming up here for Joe Adele. See what he can do.
Got him looking. Yeah, all over the plate with a fastball. It's another strikeout for Javier, and we have 2 out here in the 3rd.
That's that riding fastball, that plane he throws it on. That angle, that's a great angle where you can see where the baseball, where he delivers it. And this stays true from the minute it's out of his hand. It stays true all the way up through the strike zone. That's what makes that swing by Shohei even more impressive. How he's able to get that barrel out and hook it down the line, where the numbers versus Javier's fastball, I mean, they're outstanding. Just a .273 slugging percentage versus his fastball. I mentioned those strikeouts with 62 coming into the game.
All 8 outs recorded via the strikeout for Javier.
Maybe that's why their fielding percentage is so good.
Altuve looks like he's gonna take a seat out there. He's up. Little back pick. Walsh is back safely. Walsh reached via the walk. He's got that hand dug into the dirt. Bigger bases, possibly. Is that something you'd be okay with? Sliding in, maybe to back in.
As long as you're keeping the players on the field and staying healthy, I'm for anything to keep them on the field. You want the stars to play every day. You want the guys, the 26th man, to be able to play every day.
That one's hit out towards center field, but Myers is there. Well, that's the first out. Not a strikeout for the Astros. We head to the 4th. History, longest innings pitched streaks, no earned runs. Ohtani now 31 2/3 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. That's the most in 50 years. It passes Lackey, passes May, it passes Nolan Ryan. Tonight, 3 innings pitched, just 1 hit, 0 earned runs. Takes us to our Indeed player resume, and so far it's looking pretty darn good for Ohtani, because 18-1 career, Gooby, with 3+ runs of support in his 50th career start. Tonight, he's got it.
Well, when you think of ace pitchers of a staff, when they get that kind of support, they go to that next level, and they realize how the importance of putting up those zeros, especially a shutdown inning after scoring runs. Shohei Ohtani, the ultimate competitor, but also his creativity is the reason why you're seeing those numbers, especially with support.
First pitch to Kyle Tucker is a cutter in off the plate. Huge fan of Angels history. He's already etching his name in the history book for the Halos on the pitching side, let alone forget about the hitting side for a second. Angels pitchers with 8+ wins, a sub-2.5 ERA, a sub-1 whip in their first 14 starts. Ohtani is the 2nd ever. First, I'll tell you after this pitch, the weave. Jared Weaver, 10 years ago, 2012, was 9-1. Weaver finished 3rd in the Cy Young race. By the way, Jared Weaver Friday throwing out the first pitch, I believe.
Maybe joining us in the booth.
Oh, come on.
The weave.
Can't believe I got bounced. Tell him I say hi. That's very cool.
That's a good pitch. Cutter. We talk about creative Ohtani. Cutters, couple cutters in this game.
Tonight is Ohtani's 15th start, most on the team. Most strikeouts on the team. Most innings pitched on the team. Fewest walks allowed. Lowest ERA. Whoa, hold on a second. Ohtani has his hands on his head. Where was that?
That's in the middle of the plate.
Where was that?
I mean, that's in the middle of the plate. Shohei, reaction. Now you got a real good hitter in a hitter's count. Shohei threw another cutter. So he's thrown 3 cutters in this at bat. Kyle Tucker goes through a routine between every pitch thrown to him. Grabs some dirt, touches the bat. Not quite Nomar Garcia-Parra like with the batting gloves, because he doesn't have batting gloves. Otherwise, he probably would do that. So there's a routine for Tucker.
And that little back foot kick. Digging in. The 3-2 off the plate. That's a walk, leadoff variety. Hole at bat takes a different turn when you don't get that pitch called. It's a perfect pitch, slider for a strike.
4 cutters in that sequence against Tucker, and he hadn't thrown cutters all game. But he knows that Tucker hits breaking pitches very well. So the cutter's more like a fastball with that late cut action to it. It goes in the category a lot of times as a fastball. So he was trying to have a little bit of a wrinkle on it, yet still throw his fastball to him.
Second time through now for Ohtani. First pitch to Bregman off the plate.
And usually really good second time through. First time through 233, second time 203, third time 139.
Oh, come on. This man just gets stronger. And he always bears down. Runners on. As I mentioned, better as the game goes on. It's our Coors Light beating the pressure. Break it down for me one more time.
Well, you see, as he goes that first time through, it's always about a feel for his pitches. Fastball velocity still firm, but as the second time through, the adjustments made, fastball velocity increases the second time, and still pretty close that third time through for Shohei. Opponent's average, this drops considerably as he has a feel for what the hitters are trying to do against him.
That's OPS, right? I mean, that's just not batting average. This is on base plus slugging in the 200s as the game goes on. You just, most of the time they got somebody up in the bullpen. They don't want you. They don't want a pitcher facing anybody the third time through anymore. And we've already, have proof that Ohtani, when Nevin was thinking of maybe taking him out, and Ohtani was very clear that one game. Essentially, can't use the language, but it was don't you dare. That's out towards left field. There's Brandon Marsh.
A lot of people are asking, why is Brandon Marsh in left field and not in center?
Let's hear it.
Why is Taylor Ward in center? Well, Brandon Marsh has settled into one of the best defenders in left field, so you don't want to move him around, even though he is a center fielder. Taylor Ward has told me a number of times his favorite outfield position is center field. Even though he's played a solid right field, and Joe Adell, they're trying to keep him what he's been playing most of the times out in AAA, and that would be right field. So keeping everyone in their comfort zone, but keeping Brandon Marsh out in left field where he's been dynamic defending.
I spoke with Damon Mayshore, who works with the outfielders, also first base coach. He says, yeah, we're not going to take, the guy's playing Gold Glove caliber left field. Keep him right there. Yuli Gurriel takes a strike. Taylor Ward also told me that he feels he reads the ball off the bat really well in center field. And Mayshore also added that he feels that Joe Adell, just working with him here today, he's night and day. He is so much better, just the way he reads the baseball off the bat. Runner goes. And Tucker steals the bag. That's 15 on the season for Kyle Tucker.
Well, he picked the right pitch to go on, a curveball.
So that's 2 stolen bases against Ohtani tonight.
And it looked like C.B. Buckner was going to call that a strike, and he didn't call. That's in the strike zone. He's going to call this a strike. He's moving up to call it, but then when he goes to throw, Max Stassi, that's a strike.
Two calls against Ohtani. These aren't borderline. It's all over the strike zone. Runner in scoring position now in Tucker. And a 2-1 count to Gurriel. 2-2.
Remember, punched him out with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, both these pitchers are really battling here tonight. I mean, they are battling.
8 strikeouts for Javier. 5 so far for Ohtani. A couple of walks, only 1 hit allowed. Oh, that's going to beat the ship. Adell is not going to make a play on it. And that is a earned run that comes in to score. 3-1 now.
Went with the pitch the other way after the stolen base. Boy, he just shortened up his swing. He just tried to make contact. He allowed Shohei Ohtani to provide the power on that pitch. It was a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
So the streak for Ohtani ends at 33 innings pitched without allowing an earned run. That one charged to Shohei. Whole new ball game, 1 out, 1 on for J.J. Maticevic. And Gurriel, we focused on that a little bit last night. Runners in scoring position has not been good for him this year.
Got to credit the Astros for trying to steal some bases against Shohei. He doesn't give them up. Pick the right pitch, Tucker, to steal a bag, and because of that, you get a run.
Wow, that's just a nice pitch. That cutter back to it. 1-1. Quick correction and retraction by myself. 32 is the number for Ohtani, which is the most in the last 50 years. 32 innings without an earned run. Send your letters courtesy of producer Max. Proof. Last 50 seasons at 32. My partner here, Mark Gubizzo, once 22 2/3, scoreless without allowing an earned run. Right. Asked you about it. So take me back to that time, and you said I have no recollection of it whatsoever.
Usually I remember everything, but not that. I was always used to backing up bases. Get my work in, my sprint work.
Right.
So Shohei Ohtani in this inning has thrown a lot of cutters. And usually when you see Shohei throwing a cutter or slider more, he's not comfortable throwing his splitter. Haven't seen him throw many of them of late.
The 1-2.
That's right in the strike zone again. It was taken out of the strike zone. Yeah, but that's another strike.
It's maybe just the way Stassi tried to catch that cutter again.
But it's
yeah,
a strike.
I absolutely. I'm just kind of baffled. That's 3 this inning. See how he kind of trapped it.
Well, he's expecting that cutter to go the other direction. So that's a tougher one to catch, but it's in the strike zone.
Yes, he did. Check on it. He's out. All right. It's making sure. That's another strikeout for Ohtani. That's 6.
Well, it's sharp break to his curveball.
So for a starting pitcher, an ace of the staff, to go 3+ innings without throwing one particular pitch, and then to suddenly feature it in the 4th inning, what gives there?
That's what we said about Shohei. There's times where he doesn't even use his splitter for the first 3-4 innings, and all of a sudden it's the best pitch in the game. It's feel. That's what's so good about Shohei, is his feel for all his pitches.
Get over curveball, strike 1 to Jeremy Pena, the dynamic rookie for the Astros. So 40% sliders. Now the cutter suddenly creeping up the leaderboard. 0-2.
Remember, he's thrown him nothing but sliders so far tonight. Well, a curveball first pitch, but slider to second. Struck him out on the slider. 0-2 last time. There was a slider off the plate. He took it. Came right back with another slider. Got a swing and miss.
He got him. That's 7 for Ohtani. 1 run came in. But man, is he phenomenal on the bump here tonight. Tremendous break. Pena strikes out for the 2nd time. 3-1 Angels. Erica West and Patrick O'Neill here. 3-1 Angels leading the Astros. Bottom 4. It's been fun to see what Shohei Ohtani's been able to do on the hill and at the plate. He's driven in 2 of the 3 Angels runs. Max Stassi is leading off, and he's 1 for 1. Great pitching matchup here tonight. I mean, this is top-notch stuff. Javier has 8 strikeouts. Ohtani has 7.
It's the time where you look for those add-on runs. Need those add-on runs here.
One-two coming to the Angels catcher, Max Stassi. Swing and a miss. That's another strikeout for Javier. That's 9. Where do you think Javier would fit, assuming this Astros team is going to make the postseason in their playoff rotation?
It is an extremely deep rotation.
And you have Verlander and you got Framber Valdez, who we'll see tomorrow night.
And Luis Garcia, I mean, now it gives Dusty an opportunity. One of those guys can go down and give you some length out of the bullpens and some quality length out of your bullpen in a postseason.
And Brandon Marsh, like that, caught the zone, but called a ball. Yankees are the Bombers' best record right now, but who do you favor pitching-wise between those 2 teams?
Yankees have thrown the ball really well. Luis Severino left the game today, though.
Yes.
And he's been throwing the ball very well, and he's got a power arm. The bullpen, I think that's where the slight edge goes to the Yankees.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big bunt hit for Brandon Marsh, his first time up, picked up an RBI on it.
Oh, called a strike.
This is off the plate. Backdoor breaking ball.
And that one is not called. Makeup, perhaps. 2-2.
I mean, that's all over the strike zone inside. Now, I imagine you try to ride a high fastball against him.
Struck him out. And Christian Javier, I mean, he is dealing.
Just watch how this baseball rises. I know you think of physics, a baseball can't rise, but it has that illusion that on that straight plane going upstairs, it looked like it did.
It's 10 strikeouts for Javier. His last 2 starts versus the Halos, 24 strikeouts. And I mentioned earlier that he set a franchise record with 13 straight innings pitched with 2 strikeouts or more, and he's done that each inning here tonight. Number 9 hitter Andrew Velasquez. A little drag bunt and a beauty. He beats it out. A little old school. Velasquez aboard with a 2-out single.
Oh, you talk about a perfect bunt, something they've been working on a lot again earlier today. Brings that baseball with him. You're sitting at home and go, with 2 outs, you want an extra base hit. That's not his game. His game is getting on base, and now he's a stolen base threat, although with Shohei at the plate, you're staying at first base. Easily beats that one out.
That's a great job. That's doing your job. You know who's on deck. It's Ohtani. Get a little add-on, little insurance. Last time up, 2-run triple. His second of the season, led baseball with 8 a year ago. On his way to an MVP.
Put in perspective what Shohei Ohtani did back in the 2nd inning. Faced 3 batters, struck out 2. Hits in the bottom of the 2nd and hits a 2-run triple.
That's probably something that's never happened before in an inning, right?
Well, there's been some pretty good hitting pitchers over the years, but this is, you just marvel what Shohei is doing. Yeah, I'm thinking you're staying put there if you're Velasquez here. Let Shohei get an opportunity to swing the bat. If he steals the base successfully, they might walk Shohei.
May want to walk him anyway. And Martinez heating up for the Astros.
A lot of pitches. Next pitch will be pitch number 90. We're only in the 4th inning.
Two 2-0.
Getting those change-ups.
Bach.
Shohei helped on that one. Or did he call timeout first?
And Clint Vondrak, he called a balk. Let's see what CB Buckner has to say.
I think he said he called timeout.
Crew chief Jeff Nelson in there at third base.
As usual, Martin Maldonado and Shohei Ohtani having a conversation. And brought him back to first base. And Phil Nevin's going to go out and find out exactly why they changed that. It looks like, I just reading his lip, he said he called time. See if he did.
That Ohtani call time? I don't know how much I would argue anyway. I'd rather have Velasquez at first base and give Ohtani a chance to swing the bat.
Well, he didn't put his hand up.
No.
Unless he verbally said time.
The balk is removed. And a 2-0 pitch coming to Ohtani. 3-0.
Another changeup. Shohei has seen a ton of changeups this season. Kind of a show pitch. He's thrown 7 changeups. Only one time he's thrown it for a strike. See if Shohei's ready to swing at a pitch close.
Not even.
With 3-0 changeup with a man on first. Now this is the time where you want to see Taylor Ward do Taylor Ward type stuff. It looks like Dusty's not going to give him a shot.
Not going to give Javier a shot to face Ward as he makes a move to the bullpen. You saw Seth Martinez, a right-hander, heating up. 10 strikeouts for Christian Javier. And Dusty Baker goes to the best bullpen in the American League, down 3-1. Let's flash back to Babe Ruth, July 13th in 1934, hitting his 700th career home run. You mentioned there were some, pretty good hitting pitchers back in the day. This one might be the best of all time.
Yes, I just love that swing. He just leaned out in front, that power he had. And remember, at one point had one of the best ERAs in postseason play as a pitcher.
Pretty fun comparison, as always, to look at this two-way sensation.
And when you mention that with Shohei, it puts a smile on his face. It makes him feel proud, as well as should be. When you have this comparison, Babe Ruth and yourself, I mean, that's phenomenal.
Well, he's been doing Babe Ruth type stuff. Seth Martinez is now in, just made his MLB debut last September. An ERA sub-1, a whip sub-1, opponent average 120. And he's in to face the right-handed hitter Taylor Ward. 2 on, 2 out, 3-1 Angels here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Taylor takes a strike. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Martinez will throw a number of different pitches. He'll throw a slider. You saw that, a cutter. He'll throw a sinker, changeup, forkball.
Ward 0 for his last 10. He's due.
Oh, that was his pitch right there. That was a spinning slider that stayed on the plate. Now just try to shorten up, stay back. You don't think of Martinez trying to elevate many pitches, so you got to track lower third. I mean, he still might try it. Most times you're talking lower third of the zone.
The 0-2. Got him looking. So Ward strikes out, but the Angels lead 3-1. Angels baseball on Bally Sports is brought to you by the OC Healthcare Agency. Build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. By Nissan, for great offers on our most exciting lineup, shop NissanUSA.com. And by your friends at State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Shohei Ohtani so far tonight, the swing and misses on his pitches, the arsenal he's been throwing. That's 17-7 with versus slider, 5 versus the 4-seamer, curveball 3, cutter 2, 7 strikeouts in a game. And look how many pitches this time in the zone as far as swing and misses as compared to back at April 20th against the same Astro club, and when he had 20 swing and misses with 11 sliders, 6 splitters, curveballs, 4-seamer, how many of those pitches were well out of the strike zone? Only 2 was in the zone that day. But today, he's getting swing and misses in the strike zone, reminiscent of that game he had at Fenway Park, where he got a number of swing and misses in the zone.
Those animated fans in the Crawford boxes are amazed.
Well, why wouldn't you?
He's tremendous, and I think has to be the starting pitcher for the American League. The All-Star game, many great choices. Southern California, and I think whoever they decide to start in the National League, if it's not Clayton Kershaw, maybe they should hand the ball to him, let him start it also. Strike 1, like off the plate, but it's 0-1 to Jake Myers. Top of the 5th, 3-1 Angels. A little too far off the plate there. 1-1.
Yeah, Stassi really tried to sell that one, bring it back in the zone, but a little bit too far off the plate. It's a big inning for Shohei. You love to see have a quick, clean 1-2-3 inning here. It's been a battle for him tonight.
Featuring the slider to Myers, 1-2. Seven strikeouts so far for Shohei. The 1-2. Let's make it 8. What do you say?
The depth he's getting on his slider now. Last season, in his historic season on the mound and at the plate, we talked a lot about that devastating splitter. His slider is going to that next level also for Shohei. Coming in the game, mentioned 87 strikeouts with his breaking pitches.
Maldonado with the strike. Let's go to our Kia player profile. Last 5 starts, Shohei Ohtani is putting up numbers rarely ever seen using that slider and splitter.
Yeah, the percentage of usage, the 53%. Opponent batting average is .082. That's 32 strikeouts and a whiff percentage of 50%.
Maldonado does not chase. Martin with one of the 2 hits for the Astros tonight. Beat the shift, went up the middle with it back in the 3rd inning. Well, that has a flare written all over it. Unless, no, Taylor Ward unable to get it. Maldonado digging for second and is going to make it. And Taylor Ward gave it everything. Yeah, but that falls.
Off the end of the bat, he covered a lot of ground, aggressive on the dive. It looks like it was going to hit the outfield grass already.
Adele backing it up in case it gets by him. And that allows Maldonado to get into second base.
Just off that glove.
And he was like a torpedo going on after that one. Runner in scoring position now for Altuve. 1 out. Middle of the game. Runner in scoring position. This is when Shohei absolutely bears down. He's got to face one of the game's most clutch hitters in Altuve. In there, strike 1. Heavy slider usage tonight for Ohtani. Out towards left field, Brandon Marsh running over, runs out of room.
So used to that kind of swing because he plays half of his games at Minute Maid Park, that Crawford boxes. Even though he was out in front, he keeps his bat back long enough to almost keep that one fair.
Ohtani in his 50th career start tonight. Only 2 Angels through 49 games. Pitchers had a better ERA and a better whip through 49 games. Andy Messersmith and Dan Herron. I think that look at Maldonado had anything to do with perhaps tipping any kind of pitch to Altuve.
That was a splitter. That was a good splitter there for Shohei. He hadn't thrown in a while and he threw that good of a splitter. I mean, that thing just dropped.
Here's the 1-2. In there, got him. 9 Ks for Ohtani. 2 down.
Blocked him up on a backup slider after a splitter that he barely fouled off. Same plane, same part of the plate. Went slider inside part of the plate and freezes him. Still work to be done for Shohei.
Chas McCormick now with 2 down in the 5th. Maldonado at second base. McCormick 0 for 2 with a strikeout. At this rate, Ohtani's thinking strikeout, is he not? I mean, he's got 9. He'll take an out, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's thinking an out any way he can get it. Shohei Ohtani with 2 outs this season with runners in scoring position. That's when he goes to that next level. See if he can continue that pace.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
.069 batting average with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Shohei looking for that devastating pitch here. He's still trying to tell himself he didn't really feel comfortable in that last one there where he spotted it because it got a lot of the plate. Now he's thinking about, okay, I'll make a perfect pitch, see if I get a swing out of the zone. That's another swing in zone. Swing and miss. He's looking for a swing and miss out of zone here now.
The 1-2, he got the out. Any way he could get it. Rengifo is there. And Ohtani through 5. Dealing on the hill and driving in runs at the plate. 3-1 Halos. Stay to enjoy a post-game Saturday night fireworks show driven by SoCal Honda dealers. Visit angels.com/promotions for more details. Yeah, we're just a touch camera shy, but great to see this fantastic crowd here tonight at the Big A, trying to snap a 5-game losing streak with Shohei on the hill. Seth Martinez remains out there You got 3 2/3 from Christian Javier with 10 punch outs.
But because of all those strikeouts, the pitch count went up, and Dusty Baker decided to go to the bullpen.
Luis Rengifo leading off, bottom of the 5th. Drives that towards right field. That's going to get down. It's another knock for Rengifo. He's 2 for 3.
Brought his hands up on that one very well.
Quick note on Christian Javier. Only the 3rd starter since 1906 to have 10 Ks and not make it more than 3 2/3. Tyler Alexander and Danny Salazar, the other 2. Thanks to our crew hitting us up with that cool info. Baseball never stops amazing us. 1 on, nobody out for Jared Walsh.
That's a good hack. I'm looking for one of those that's staying down on the baseball well. He's making some adjustments where he's holding his hands. Tell himself to get through the baseball. He's been trying to get back to that swing where he's hit breaking pitch, all speed pitches better. He's hit the fastball pretty well. See right now where he's set up there, letting that baseball bat lay on the shoulder before getting ready to see the pitch and drive it. He's trying to get that timing mechanism back.
Two and one.
A lot of times you think a 2-1 count. Action play count. Especially for a guy that lives in the lower third, so you can make contact lower third. I think a lot of times hit that on the ground if you have Rengifo on the move. 3 stolen bases have been caught once.
Count now in Walsh's favor, 3-1. That's the score of our game, 3-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Middle game of a 3-game series with the Astros. Towards center field. And Jake Myers is there. Rengifo forces a throw. And we have 1 out here in the 5th. And we'll give you a quick word from Jack in the Box.
My $5.99 double bacon cheesy Jack combo with double the bacon and double the cheese. Order on the Jack app today.
After the Walsh fly out, here's Joe Adell. Recalled this morning. Monte Harrison DFA'd. And Adell's hoping to stick and stay. Slider from Martinez, called for a strike, 0-1. Series finale tomorrow. Reminder that that game's at 4:30, starts with Angels Live, and then game just after 5 o'clock. Reed Detmers going to get the start for the Halos, posed by the very Very good. Framber Valdez, all-star. Spoke with Reed today. He's been pitched very well in Baltimore. Gooby came off that one start in AAA. And that slider is something that he feels really confident in.
Yeah, the grip and the arm angle, the change in the arm angle, going back to where he was successful with in his collegiate career and even early in his professional career.
Runner goes, and that's going to be lined into center field by Adele. Rengifo, who's on the move, gets to third base easily. First and third, one out, and Adele, welcome back.
I really like, especially when you're trying to get a swing together, when you put the hit and run on, it simplifies your swing. You're just trying to make contact. That's all he's trying to do is make contact on that. And that's why a lot of managers put a hit and run on when you're trying to get a hitter going. Stay with it. It's made some contact, strong enough to get it into the outfield. Bench loving it. It's a big run out there for VR now.
Runners on the corners. Jonathan VR, 0 for 1 with a walk and a run. He scored that run back in the 3-run second. First run of the game on that bunt single from Marsh. And takes a strike. Inner part of the plate.
Interesting to see Bregman playing in a little bit. Remember, Brandon Marsh had that bunt when a man on it was a first and third scenario earlier. Don't think that's going to be the case here with VR. He's got some pretty good power. He's trying to lift something in the air deep enough to get Rengifo home here.
Maldonado goes down. And VR got a piece of it on the bunt attempt. And so Martine's okay.
And he's trying to bring that baseball with him. That got a rate on the kneecap. Even though you have the shin guards, when you're flexing your knee like that, it's not quite as sturdy and protective on the kneecap at that moment.
Yeah, just caught him flush on the left knee. You just know this is a big run out there. Ohtani is through 5 innings with 9 strikeouts, only 1 earned run tonight. He's driven in 2. Could use a little more insurance. Oh, almost close play. Looked like Adele got tripped up for a second there.
That's some quick footwork. I'm sure they're going to look at that also. He was leaning and he's going back. A little bit of a stumble. Got his hand back though. That is some quick footwork for Martinez and a quick throw. You knew he was going to try it again. He goes, you know, I almost got him last time. Let me try it again.
Ahead of VR 0-2.
This doesn't feel like a stolen base count here to go with, even though you think 0-2 maybe a break a ball in the dirt. But with the 1 out, you want to get an opportunity to score a run here.
chase by VR, 2 down.
Got to go after a changeup well out of the strike zone. It's a big strikeout for Martinez.
Yeah, you can see why Dusty likes going to him. His 120 opponent batting average coming in, 3rd best mark in the American League. That's what makes that Rengifo hit that much more impressive. Rengifo, by the way, has hit safely in 16 of his last 18. Right now, he's at 3rd base with 2 down. A chance for Max Stassi.
Wouldn't be surprised if Joe Adell's on the move to draw a throw at second base. He might not throw straight through, but Maldonado's got a good throwing arm. They might take a shot, and Rengifo's got to be ready to come home in case it throws a second.
And indeed, he's on the move. No throw. That's the 2nd stolen base up here with the Angels this season for Adell. Wasn't running a lot at AAA, only 3 stolen bases, but now runners in scoring position, 2 for Stassi at 2nd and 3rd.
Interesting watching Altuve didn't even think about going towards the base. Stay back in his position. He's willing to give up that stolen base with 2 runners now in scoring position for Max Stassi. A base hit will score 2.
Two on, 2 out, 2-run. Angels lead. And a 3-1 count to Stassi coming. First base open. Brandon Marsh on deck.
Can imagine another break of balls coming here now to Stassi.
Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Stassi strikes out. And runners stranded 2nd and 3rd. Martinez does his job, ends the 5th, and Ohtani's back out there to the bump.
Let's go with a pitch-by-pitch for Shohei against Altuve. Both all-stars. Start him off with a slider off the inside part of the plate. Catches the upper 3rd with a slider. Another slider out in front. Altuve pulls it foul. Then a splitter just tied him up inside. It sets up that next slider on the inside part of the plate and catches the upper corner for a call. 3rd strike against Jose Altuve.
Shohei Ohtani, 6th inning. Got to face Kyle Tucker, who led off that 4th inning. Remember that walk?
We're back to the 2 strikeouts against Altuve today for Shohei. 101-mile-an-hour fastball, swing and miss. And then a slider on the inside part of the plate. Separation of 16 miles per hour on the 2 strikeouts against a very good hitter. It's another good splitter on the inside part of the plate. Called a ball.
1-1. And that's that at bat. And Tucker led off the 4th, walked. Eventually, that was that earned run charged against Ohtani. Yeah, you can see he's frustrated.
He moved as if he was going to call that a strike, C.B. Buckner.
Now the count's 1-2 to Kyle Tucker. A 60 RBI tie for the team lead. to go with 17 homers and a trip to Dodger Stadium in the All-Star game on Tuesday.
He's not an easy guy to strike out either. Shohei has struck him out once. He's got 50 strikeouts on the season, so he's a guy that puts the ball in play. So you got to make a really good pitch to get a strikeout against him. It's a 101-mile-an-hour fastball.
Jose Quijada, and he was fantastic last night.
If he tries a splitter right here, if he can have a feel for that, it'd be a good pitch right now.
The 1-2. Got him looking. That's number 10.
That looked like it was off the plate. Backdoor curveball. Shohei. That's a stolen strike by Max Stassi behind the plate. Did a nice job. Tucker saying that's off the plate. And it was.
4 straight games, double-digit strikeouts for Ohtani. Seventh time this season he has hit double digits in a game on the hill. Still a lot of work to do. Alex Bregman.
It gives him 121 strikeouts on the season, with 22 walks. The transformation, what you saw from basically about mid-June last season to the end of the season on the mound, and what he's taken that into this season. A legit ace.
Catches a piece of Bregman's bat, 1-2.
Little Quijada way, going in there, grabbing that baseball, wanting to attack the strike zone. Shohei.
The intensity rises, the tighter and the deeper into the ball game he gets.
Maybe a cutter here.
Ground ball, and it gets through. Bregman just goes with the pitch with the shift on. That's the 4th hit against Ohtani. He's going to bring up Yuli Gurriel.
And the only reason why he was able to make contact on that cutter was up high enough. He could just punch it. So what's different about this Astro club than about maybe 5-6 years ago when they were a high strikeout team? They put the ball in play.
Wonder if Bregman's having a chat with Walsh about how tough this guy on the hill is tonight. Hacking at the first pitch. Fouls it back, 0-1. Gurriel with the RBI single.
Shohei's only had 3 double plays turned behind him this season.
Pitch number 100. 65 of which are strikes.
Wow.
Unreal.
That had some bite.
11 strikeouts for Ohtani. That's a filthy slider.
Gurriel's pretty good against breaking pitches, but this slider was unreal. That is like you're throwing a wiffle ball. And he missed that by quite a bit.
Yeah. 4th straight game over 100 pitches for Ohtani. fourth straight start, as I mentioned, 10 strikeouts, only the second Angel to do it in club history. Nolan Ryan did it 6 times. Strike to Maticevic. Just remarkable. Six times for Nolan Ryan, by the way. Not surprised. 0-2.
Look at Shohei walking up there to get that baseball back from Max Stassi.
One on, 2 outs, the 0-2. This is 101.
Slightly overthrown for Shohei. Usually this means when you see Shohei going to that level where he's throwing the fastball at 101, he feels he's got to that point now in the pitch count with 104. Just be able to get that last batter and finish off his night on the mound.
The 1-2. In there! A dozen strikeouts, special delivery for Ohtani.
Manasashin. Backdoor breaking ball. Nasty slider. Slider to finish it off. And Shohei with the fist pump. Loving it.
Here, Gooby, Ohtani digging deep for another strikeout, 12 on the night.
I love that energy. He was channeling his Jose Quijada in that inning where he was got the leg kick, throwing the baseball, going to get the baseball back from Max Stassi. What an effort. 12 strikeouts for Shohei Ohtani. What a thrill it must be for Max Stassi to be behind the plate catching that every night. This just knowing it. What pitch do we go with? He's going to throw it exactly where he puts the target.
6 starts, nearly 10 strikeouts per. He's gone 6 innings, 105 pitches. What a tremendous performance. His night may be done on the hill, but not at the plate. It's only 3-1. A lot of baseball left. Ryan Abreu is now the Astros pitcher. Brandon Marsh is going to lead off. Bottom 6, 3-1 halos. You have 12 strikeouts for Ohtani. Meanwhile, Astros pitching has 13 strikeouts. Don't need to remind anybody.
I can't believe they didn't check him. Well, it took a while to get there. You will get a little bit of smile on your face if you're Brandon Marsh. Ryan Abreu has got a good fastball himself, 93-98. That curveball you saw, slider, changeup. Well, there's a starting pitcher.
He's due up third. 98 just misses, 2-1. Erica reported earlier about, Mike Trout had an MRI, they had a CT scan, upper back spasm, something that, jumped up and bit him in Miami roughly, dealing with, playing through. Would love to keep him off his feet. That one takes Marsh to his knee.
Speaking of feet, that foul ball right off his foot.
Trout had mentioned before the game, possible pinch hitting situation off the toe.
When you listen to hitters, when they talk about that foul, it's like dropping a weight on your foot. That's how painful that is.
I was thinking maybe somebody taking a sledgehammer and just smashing my toe, but I think I like your analogy better. That's a strikeout.
Looked like he fouled that. At least you can hear that.
I don't know if that was at the ground. Okay, he stays alive.
Yeah, you hear something before it hits the dirt.
You've got those special spidey senses here. Everything. Well, got him that time. One out. Well, for the best coverage in the game, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. And bunts. Small ball, getting it done.
That was not an easy pitch to get down. That was a high fastball. Gets that run across. Nice job by Brandon Marsh. Checks up perfectly. And then Andrew Velasquez bringing that with him. Once you make the first baseman feel that no chance on that one. It's a perfect bunt for Andrew Velasquez. So 2 bunts. One down the third base line, one down the first base line. Work earlier today on those.
7 hits total for the Halos.
Boy, the Astros have a lot of guys in their bullpen that throw hard, but they throw a ton of breaking pitches. Ryan Presley being one we saw last night. Ryan Abreu, the same thing here, even though he's throwing 97, 98.
That's Jose Quijada. Expect to see him in the 7th. Bottom of that Astros order. Pena, Myers, Maldonado due up. That man has 12 strikeouts, has 2 RBI. And if he gets on and gets a stolen base, then he does the exact same thing that he accomplished last time that had never been done. 1-2.
The one thing you hear a lot from people, especially in the game, is this: you should never take for granted what you're seeing here from Shohei Ohtani. Just to be ready to hit again after throwing the pitches he has, pitching the way he has, playing every day like he has, it's not easy. And to do it at this level, mind-boggling.
You think it's taken for granted nationally?
I think people they hear the conversation with it, but to see this daily and knowing how much it wears you out pitching-wise. I mean, he's been on the mound here a lot of times where he's been so important as far as stopping losing streaks, going out there attacking the strike zone, and still able to say hi to some fans in there. So you know what? Yeah, I am pretty good.
Don't bother the man.
That's good sometimes, just to relax your brain a little bit and just kind of relax, get the shoulders going. I mean, everyone's sitting there going, we're watching a remarkable athlete.
Someone's blushing down there.
They're probably saying, hey, can you hit a home run? Okay.
Yeah, I could do that.
I got 19.
Well, you got to make your way to the Big A tomorrow. Those fans right there might be taking home that MVP shirt. First 25,000 fans get the Ohtani MVP shirt, courtesy of Gung Ho Online Entertainment. Angels.com/promotions has all the information.
How cool is that as a fan? You're sitting there, you're that close to Shohei Ohtani, able to get a conversation with him. Good battle here for Andrew Velasquez, trying to get on base again in front of Shohei. Well, last time they walked Shohei. He got 3 or 4 straight changeups well out of the strike zone.
Oh, nice piece of hitting for Velasquez. Going the other way on a 1-2 fastball at 99, 100 miles per hour. And that's perfect, Gooby, to set this up right here for Ohtani. a well-deserved ovation. The unanimous AL MVP in 2021. I don't see how he cannot possibly be the favorite once again. He does things that no other baseball player on the planet can do as of yet.
Shohei Ohtani has really crushed some breaking pitches this season. You know, still pretty good numbers versus fastballs. 11 home runs he's hit. He's covered breaking pitches very well. 1 on a changeup, 7 on breaking pitches with a batting average of a little over 290.
Abreu is that reliever for the Astros that leads the team as far as strikeouts per 9. And if he could meet up with one of those upper 90s fastballs, if he throws them. He does, but it misses.
Martin Maldonado is not going to give that fastball in the zone. He's going to set up slightly off the outside part of the plate, try to see if Shohei will be aggressive and chase. But Shohei's been really, really good this season as far as not going out of the zone too often.
Perfect piece of hitting for Ohtani. Back-to-back singles going the other way. And 2 on and 1 out.
It's a curveball breaking pitch that he's hit very well this season. Stays back, goes with the pitch. And that ball is rocketed that way. Staying back. 104 miles per hour exit velocity for a guy that's thrown the ball 101 miles an hour on the mound today. Yes, that deserves a wow and a standing O.
Ohtani has a triple, 2 RBI, a walk, and now a single, and 2 on. And Taylor Ward has struck out 3 times.
Had a tough time with breaking pitches tonight for Taylor.
Back-to-back hits for the Halos. Taylor Ward could use one himself. Upstairs, 2-0. Velasquez at second, Ohtani at first, 1 out.
In his zone. Just pulled off it. Well, he's trying to stay in with some movement with his fastball. He's throwing a slider to right-handed batters at 52% of the time on a 3-1 count. That tells you he feels he can control the strike zone better with his slider than his fastball. See if he goes there.
He does, but misses. Bases loaded for Luis Rengifo, who's been swinging a real hot bat for the Halos. It's going to bring Astros pitching coach Joshua Miller out to the mound and give us a chance for a quick word from Kia.
Presenting Kia's lineup of exceptionally capable all-wheel drive SUVs.
I mentioned the hot streak that Rengifo has been on, and I don't know if it's not necessarily noticed or if it's quiet. In a way, he's raised his batting average to 250. He's been rewarded by hitting in the 3 slot here. He's been playing really well.
He's controlled the strike zone. That is the biggest thing for the improvement for Luis Rengifo. Now with runners in scoring position, he's got to have that same approach. That first pitch, always the important one of an at-bat with the bases loaded. And you think about maybe laying down that bunt, but he can't really do that. It's hard to do that with base loaded. You have a force out at home, so he's up there to try to drive the ball in the air.
Only 1 out, bases loaded, first pitch, swinging a miss. 0-1.
And going back to that 1-run approach at the plate with the bases loaded. Frustrated a little bit. Another swing and miss, or foul ball, swinging a pitch well out of the strike zone. Be surprised if he saw anything other than a break a ball in the dirt, at least in that area. But you got to be ready at third base if you're Andrew Velasquez, just in case that baseball gets away from Maldonado at all. If it's a pitch in the dirt, you got to be ready.
Here's the 0-2. Oh, perfect! Base hit. Velasquez scores. Ohtani, your starting pitcher, slides into home. 2 runs come in. Rengifo delivers his 3rd knock. 5-1 halo.
That's your number 3 hitter tonight, Luis Rengifo. An 0-2 pitch, a lot of the zone. Just trying to make some contact. Drives in 2. See, that's a pretty good level swing. He's trying to make contact. He knows he's going to get a breaking ball. Got one in the zone. Not a real good 0-2 pitch for Abreu. And Rengifo made him pay.
Just a little pop-up slide for your starting pitcher, who went 6 with 12 strikeouts.
Yes.
2 hits, and now has some extra insurance.
Wow, that's a pretty good pitch. That's all over the strike zone there at 100 miles an hour. That was an angry 100-mile-an-hour pitch after hanging an 0-2 curveball, break a ball in the zone.
Yeah, Ward at second, and Rengifo at first with a big game. Fastball gets by Walsh, 1-1. That's some add-on insurance runs, huge, as the Angels are going to turn this over to the bullpen.
Well, at least we think. You never know with Shohei.
1-2, nothing but fastballs here.
Walsh has been good on against fastballs this season. A couple in a row at upper 90s.
This young man from the Dominican Republic, 25. That's an easy 100 out of his hand.
What a job by Luis Rengifo making contact on an 0-2 breaking pitch. They are huge add-on runs.
That's a strikeout for Walsh. Yeah, add-on runs against the bullpen that has the lowest ERA in the American League coming in at 2.60. That'll go up a tick. Now you got us all thinking Ohtani's not coming back into the game, right? As much as I want to see it. Whoa, that one's hit hard. That's a rocket by Adele up the middle. That's going to score Ward. Another add-on run. Adele with some emotion. 6-1 Halos.
That baseball was crushed. Basically 110 miles per hour exit velocity. Up the middle. That's what he did all batting practice long. We talked about that earlier in the game, that shortened swing up the middle. That's a rocket. And a little bit of a screen on a slap shot from Charo. Gets by Altuve for an RBI single. Joe, yes.
Just called up today, having a great game at the plate. He's got a stolen base, 2 hits, and now an RBI. Jonathan VR looking to add on.
It's another one of those scenarios, too, where Joe could be on the move against, depending on the pitch here thrown from Abreu, to see if he could draw another throw.
Going to the slider to VR, 0-2. That just has to do great things for Adele's confidence at the plate.
Yeah, you simplify your swing, you think middle of the field, you'll shorten up and you make good contact. 2 hits today up the middle for Joe Adele. He's going to have power. He can drive it out to center field easily with his power. Same thing right center. He will get pitches to turn on, but it all starts with that good quiet approach and up the middle swing for Joe Adele.
That's a little tapper. Pena on the move, throws it away. Renifo scores. And VR's going to go to second base on the error. E6 by Pena. Adele all the way to third. 7-1 Angels.
Yeah, he might get a hit and advance on the error because it's a tough play. Pena has such a great arm and how quick that release is. You probably do get him, but it's a very difficult play. So you might get an infield hit on this and then an advance on the error.
What a job that Angels have done against this Astros bullpen and Abreu. 4 have come in. Pitching change. It has been showtime without a doubt here at the Big A. Jose Suarez, he knows where to find the camera. And Ohtani has been absolutely amazing. Not just tonight, but in the last 6 starts going back to June 9th. Ryan Stanek is now in for the Astros. Angels broken this thing open here late. Ohtani in line for the W alongside Mark Gubiza. You love history. You found out that Ohtani's the 19th pitcher with 12 strikeouts and a triple in the same game. 19th.
19th.
Of course, most people know this. Hippo Vaughn for the Chicago Cubs back in maybe early 20s, did it twice. Cliff Lee was the last. Got it back to 2013.
Well, his last 6 starts, incredible. ERA 0.45, just under 40 innings pitched, 39 2/3, 2 earned runs, 58 strikeouts, opponent's batting average of 146. and just 4 extra base hits allowed during that stretch. That's covering nearly 40 innings and only 4 extra base hits. And I'm pretty sure during that stretch where he's been on the mound, he's had more than that himself probably. Well, including a triple tonight.
And just the one earned run, that was after that walk to Kyle Tucker. And there was it's an odd inning because there were 2 pitches that were all over the strike zone. That happens. Up the middle, but just off the end of the bat. Altuve is there, throws out Stassi. Shohei Ohtani doing everything, absolutely everything. 6 innings, 12 strikeouts, sliding into home safe as we head to the 7th. For Shohei Ohtani, what a night, what a month, what a player.
6 innings, 4 hits, just 1 earned run, allowed 2 walks, 12 strikeouts again in this game. He touched 101 miles per hour, struck out Altuve twice with a 101-mile-an-hour fastball and a nasty backup slider. His slider was outstanding today. And when you get Kyle Tucker to look at that backdoor curveball, but I loved his fastball. He used it, didn't use it a lot. His slider was great, but I love his emotions when he's on the mound.
His night is done on the hill. Jose Quijada is in, pitched last night. Spicy performance, has tremendous energy. Always writes that message on the mound to his son, his mom, and his God. And when healthy, I think this left-hander is a go-to for the Halos on the hill in these types of situations. Or obviously he was getting up and it was a 3-1 game at the time, but he's the guy you want on the hill in any kind of situation.
Yeah, his fastball's still really good at that 93, 96 range. Could touch 97 with his 4-seamer. Breaking ball and his changeup. He likes his changeup, especially against right-handed batters. What a job by Shohei.
First pitch from Pena.
Right in on his hands. Wow.
And this is an Astros lineup, back to Shohei in those 6 innings, that, you know, one of the best offensive teams in the last month. I mean, they're 21-6 in their last 27 games. Offensively, doing damage to everyone.
That's your 9:37 wake-up call. Foul ball straight back.
Probably be a little earlier than that for tomorrow. Moved up start time, an hour and a half for tomorrow's series finale. Detmers against Valdez. Don't miss it. 0-2 just misses, and then the Dodgers are here for the Freeway Series Friday and Saturday. Sunday is an off day right before the All-Star break. Unusual, but
get a chance to watch the Futures games, which is big to see that.
Kai Bush, Rocket City Trash Pandas having a great year. Got him looking. There's that emotion that Ohtani was channeling. Quijada is channeling Ohtani tonight. 1 down.
Pena got struck out twice on nasty sliders at that part of the plate against Ohtani. This time Quijada throws a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So often you see the fastball from Quijada, the upper part of the strike zone. He paints the lower part of the strike zone. Arm side, delivery.
Third strikeout for Pena on the night. 13th for Astros batters. Here's Jake Myers. He's 0 for 2. Four big runs in the top half of this inning. And Luis Rengifo, 3 knocks on the night. Clutch. With 2 strikes. Drove in 2. Joe Adell having a great night as well. Ooh, careful. Quijada gets up. Does he make the play? Unable to make the catch at first as Walsh. Let's hope that Quijada's okay. Came right back at him. Nevin and the trainer is going to come out. Walsh is able to come up with that. They got him.
Looks like he was able to knock it down with his glove, I think, for the most part. It's a pretty good throw. Consider the circumstance, how quick that baseball gets back, and look at the glove and his leg. Might get a few throws in here.
It was off the end of the bat.
A lot of times you hear that sound off the bat, you react quicker. You're always in survival mode when a line drive up the middle.
Sure. Here and they're scoring that in E1. That's what they're saying. That's awfully surprising. Yep, error charge to Quijada. You never know, these things get changed later. So 1 on, 1 out. Corey Lee making his first appearance here of the series, pinch hitting for Martin Maldonado. Remember, he made his major league debut first of this month versus the Angels as a pinch hitter. That's in there. Corey start at UC Berkeley. From Escondido, California. 23-year-old catcher. Fouls that back.
Boy, after a number of fastballs, Quijada has a good changeup. If he can just fade that one down and away, that could be really effective. Off the mask of Max Stassi.
You think maybe when Phil Nevin was having that chat with Dusty Baker, he's probably maybe trying to say, hey, let's see if you could get Ohtani to start that All-Star game. I'm sure certainly that's not what happened, but whatever Dusty Baker saw tonight, you know he's going to get Ohtani in there, but he also has Verlander and Valdez on his team, and he is the manager. What do you think will happen?
Well, if you want to get as many people watching the game from the get-go, Shohei's your guy.
Runner goes, the throw down not in time. Lee strikes out, unable to get the strike him out, throw him out. Myers beat the throw. Nifo holding the tag.
That's one of those things too, as a catcher, if you make contact with the batter, you're going to bring him back to first base. And maybe that's what the discussion is with the umpires.
We have a review taking place, Nissan umpire review.
When he crossed the plate, I mean, that's definitely affecting the throw, as you see him right across the plate as you're trying to throw the baseball. And that's not what they're reviewing. They're seeing if he got him at second. But they could easily put him back at first base.
So this would be what the umpire review would be. Look at that. Came off just a little bit right there, did it not?
There's separation of the bag. Does he have the glove on that back calf area the whole time? Here's a good view here.
He beats it by like a half a second.
And there's separation right there. Yeah, he's out.
Yep, and Renifo, that's why he was having that smile. He's like, I think I might have you here, Jake.
But I'm still a little confused how you're not, at the very least, how he's not catcher's that is interference.
Right, that would be not reviewable, I don't believe. And see how quickly some of the Angels infielders and outfielders choose to come off the field. See if we could get the review from Jeff Nelson.
After review, the call is overturned. The runner's out. Los Angeles will retain its challenge.
Well, credit the Angels for picking that up there back in the video room. Nice job, boys. Indeed, a strike 'em out, throw 'em out after all, and it's stretch time at the Big A. Jerome's best seat in the house. Sign up for a chance to win at Jerome's.com. Just checking to see what type of food they have down there. There's no room for me tonight. Looks like ice cream. They want to sit there the next game. Now you just get the one game. Corey Lee now is in at catcher for Martin Maldonado. And Brandon Marsh leads off. Stanek remains back out there.
Yeah, he's another one of those power arms that throws a lot of secondary pitches between his splitter and slider, but he can run his fastball 96, 99. Three straight fastballs out of the strike zone. That's Brandon Marsh.
Oh, and he missed. All he had to do was throw a strike. Four straight out of the zone. Leadoff walk for Marsh.
On base twice again tonight for Brandon Marsh.
In-game box score is worth a look here, Gooby, because everybody pretty much finding a way to contribute in this ball game.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive, this lineup. We talk about how the importance of that bottom part of the lineup and getting on base for the top part. You see some really good at-bats. Total of 5 hits down at that bottom part of the lineup, and Joe Adell in there with 2 today himself. Andrew Velasquez with a couple. A bunt hit and then a real nice swing going the other way.
That ball was inside. Does not bring a smile to the face of Squid there. 1-0. Out towards center field. That had a loud sound to it, but it's not going to go very far. Myers is there for the first out. And today is July 13th. And just last year, but we're taking another look at how historic it was. Ohtani started the All-Star game. He threw 100. And that was the night after he was participating in that home run derby contest. So it was a perfect first inning. He ended up getting the W, the win in the game. So he's the first ever player to start a game on the mound, bat leadoff, and earn the W in the same game, and that includes regular season.
Yeah, it's phenomenal what he did. I have no idea how he had that kind of strength to be able to go out there after home run derby. You get taxed doing a home run derby. There's a lot of swings, and he was hitting some mammoth shots.
2 for 3 he has reached. The last 3 plate appearances, triple, 2 RBIs, a walk, and a single, and a run scored.
The MVP chance.
Get it going. That's fantastic.
I love what his #1 fan, Ben Verlander, says about Shohei Ohtani. I know the conversation here, MVP, you think, okay, Aaron Judge, what he's done, and a number of other players. But he just said basically to sit back and just watch in amazement what you're seeing here from Shohei Ohtani. And it's true.
Yeah, Ben is so admiring, as we all are, of Ohtani. 99 is in there. I'm sure we know who Ben would root for if Verlander, his brother Justin, was on the hill. AL WAR leaders, Ohtani wins above replacement, leads everybody, 4.3, ahead of Alvarez, Devers, and Mike Trout. To me, I put it up even higher, what he's able to do as a pitcher and a hitter. That one gets away. Marsh is going to reach.
On a wild pitch on a splitter, so a couple fastballs at 99 and a couple splitters in this at bat. Stanek versus Shohei, who has a very good splitter himself.
Last year at the All-Star break, Ohtani had 30 bombs. So I guess offensively, maybe his numbers at the plate going into the All-Star game this year not as strong as last year, although his pitching has been
There's
better
a chance
this
to
year.
already tie his season total of wins if he can hold on to this victory.
Fights that off, stays alive. Count remains 2-2.
He is going to that next level as far as pitchers. He's one of the best in all of baseball right now on the mound. There's no doubt.
Oh, big rip. He was looking for that 20th homer of the season. That one had rattled through his entire body. It's pure entertainment. And it's worth the price of admission. Outside, 3-2.
He has been really patient on that pitch off the plate. I wonder if we'll see a splitter here.
Oh, he went for it. 100-mile-per-hour fastball. Ohtani strikes out. 2 away.
Stanek went hard fastball. Challenged Shohei. Still to be able to have that much on your swing after pitching 6 innings, over 100 pitches thrown. That was a pretty good fastball. He just missed the one before at 100 though.
Taylor Ward. That would have been my wake-up call right there. You know,
I think you had that.
You talk about Ohtani being one of the best pitching right now. I guess somebody could argue, oh, well who is he beating? Well, let's just take a look. Boston and Seattle kicked it off. When he beat Kansas City, remember they had like 6 home runs in the first 2 games of that series, snapped another losing streak. Took care of the White Sox, the Marlins, and now this Astros batting order, one of the best in all of baseball.
Go back to what the Hall of Famer John Smoltz has said just recently about Shohei Ohtani. He still loves to compare him to Jacob deGrom, how good he is on the mound. And when you have that kind of compliment from a Hall of Famer like John Smoltz, you're seeing that development of Shohei Ohtani on the mound now. By the way, he's back throwing pretty well for the Mets. He's been touching 100 miles an hour in his rehab assignment, so he's getting close to getting back.
You know, it's good for the game to have him back. Lee keeps that in front.
It's amazing just watching Shohei Ohtani and Max Stassi. They're in the dugout. They're still talking about what they need to do.
Yeah, what do you think they're, talking about? The performance on the hill, maybe at the plate? It could be either. I'm guessing pitching.
Yeah, they're still thinking about that. I mean, as a shortstop, Andrew Velasquez is seeing some things too, and it's still that learning experience for Shohei.
It's incredible. Doing things that have never been done, and we get to witness it.
Remember, Erica was talking about the other day, what was Shohei doing on his birthday there, what, 8-10 days ago, and he said he was looking at video because he was pitching the next day. He was ready to go pitch instead of to say, it's my birthday. No, I'm ready for my next start.
Not only that, Erica getting his coffee order probably almost broke the internet, I think. Erica truly was the scoop of the year, no pun intended.
How many soy lattes has everybody had since that report?
Well,
just a few, Patrick?
Yeah, no doubt. That was really cool. As far as social media, how do you think just that one little tidbit on Shohei, how did that take off?
I actually said that to somebody on the Astros side of things earlier today. I reported Shohei's coffee order, and I've never gotten so many tweets about anything in my life.
Well, he moves the needle. That is for sure. I don't think Erica, we can't get Gooby to put any soy in his latte though yet, but we got to keep working on it.
Listen, much like Shohei, Mark Gubicza is a man of routine. He's very routine oriented. He's not going to change his coffee order, even for show.
That's true. That is true.
So true, Erica.
Erica, are you still there? I just want to make sure how I defended you when people thought maybe you didn't have that latte order correctly.
I appreciate that, Patrick.
Yeah,
I'm not going to incorrectly report a coffee order. I would never dare.
CB Buckner getting out of the way of that one.
Time called, and Stanek, as you're supposed to do that as a pitcher, just deliver the baseball.
Do want to remind everybody, Angels Live post-game show with Frenchie. You got Garrett Anderson, Tim Salmon. We'll hear from those guys real shortly about what they're seeing. And also in post-game, hopefully get a chance to hear from Ohtani if possible. Make the boys wait around a little bit, right, to hear what he's got to say. Stretch. Nifo 3 for 4, a chance for more. Last time Renifo had a 3-hit game this very date in 2019, 3 years to the day.
What a big hit that was his last at bat though, on an 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, base hit, and that vacated left side of the infield where a shortstop normally would be.
There's been a solid approach. Let's face it, it's the offense that has scuffled for sure for the Angels. They've gone the other way. They've gone up the middle. Joe Adell had that approach here tonight. Velasquez, Renifo. Except Ohtani ripped one up the line for a triple.
You'd really like to see Jared Wallace and Taylor Ward start getting locked in again. Couple walks in a row for Taylor Ward, which is good. That means he's tracking pitches. Sometimes a really good hitter, say a walk or even a A little flare to the outfield could get you going, but seeing pitches and not be overly aggressive can get you going.
Two on, two out. 2-2 count here to Rengifo. And he struck him out. Angels with a 7-1 lead as we head to the 8th inning.
Welcome outside the Big A, Ken French. That is Tim Salmon. Garrett Anderson will also join us for Angels Live, the post-game show time. Yes, we're going to talk about everything Shohei Ohtani on the mound, at the plate. Tim Salmon is going to tell everybody how Shohei Ohtani continues to get better.
He dominated both sides of the ball, but so many great storylines tonight. The whole team played well. Offense did great. We have a lot to break down in the postgame show.
Yeah, Luis Rengifo coming up big at the plate. A couple RBI, the bottom half of the lineup getting it done. But again, the lead story, of course, the one and only Shohei Ohtani certainly putting on a show right now. Elvis Peguero taking the hill. We send it back inside to the boys for the top of the 8th.
That's right. Elvis is in the building right now. Frenchie and Kingfish, thanks a lot. Yeah, looking forward to Angels Live post-game. Elvis Peguero, 9th game this year, and a 6-run lead in the top of the Astros order here. It's a good chance for Peguero to show his stuff, to shine, and hopefully the Angels can cruise, home to a victory and set up a game tomorrow, a rubber match. Reminder, that game is at 5 o'clock, starting with Angels Live at 4:30, so an hour and a half earlier, and it's going to be a great matchup with Detmers and Framber Valdez.
Yeah, Valdez is the ground ball machine, but Reed Detmers threw the ball very, very well that last time out. You remember he's throwing the ball really, really well at home, including a no-hitter this season at the Big A. So fun time tomorrow, 5 p.m. start here at the Big A.
Yeah, I spoke with Detmers earlier. He pitched very well in Baltimore. Had a chance to pick up a W. The Orioles walked it off and had the 14 strikeout performance in AAA just to work on some things, and he got that slider really clicking. So he can work his fastball, the slider, curveball, and there we see it. Valdez is a all-star, and Detmers has thrown a no-hitter. We have it for you here on Bally Sports. Can't wait for that one, Gooby.
Valdez is a ground ball machine, just about 68% ground ball rate, but that depth on the slider from Reed Detmers last time out. And still, I thought he did a good job of using his fastball lower half of the strike zone to set up his curveball, slider, and changeup. Not always that fastball upstairs. Use that fastball upstairs for effect.
So 1-2. Peguero facing Jose Altuve. This will get his heart rate going a little bit. Off the plate. Last saw Peguero on the hill at Baltimore. Doobie, what advice would you give him? What do you think he needs to do to really stay at this level?
The big thing for me when I see Elvis throw the baseball, he tries, when you throw his fastball with the movement he has, if you start it on the corner, it's very difficult to get the umpire and or the hitter to go after. Trust middle of the plate, trust movement, and then that's going to make that breaking ball even better. So you try to be too fine. You got to think middle of the plate with movement. It's not going to stay straight. It's not going to stay in the middle of the plate. If it does, it's a mistake, and they're going to get a good swing at it.
Well, it's a ground ball. Velasquez is there. Few hops, throws across, one away. MLB.TV is now $94.99. Watch all out-of-market regular season games, live or on demand, plus MLB Big Inning, blackout, and other restrictions to apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Big out for Elvis and the Angels here in the top of the 8th, leading 7-1. Don't want to mess around. Here's Chas McCormick. He's 0 for 3.
See, that's that movement. Starting middle of the plate, a little run onto the corner.
What do you make of the way he releases the baseball?
Just staying on top of the baseball, that arm angle is going to create a more difficult path for a hitter to see the baseball. Again, trust it won't stay in the middle of the plate, and don't overthrow. Keep the front shoulder in long enough. But that arm angle and arm delivery has some serious potential to it.
0-2 out towards right field. Joe Adell. Oh, he has to play it. Basket catch for Adell. He's got some lights he's dealing with, but 2 away here in the 8th. And he's letting Ward know, hey, I'm over here in right field. You should have let me know. That's a tough play, and I know that the guys out at the set, Tim Salmon especially, can let us know how tough a play that is.
And he was working on that with Damon Mayshore today. He was hitting live fly balls. They would feed him the pitches and hit it out. Not the fungos where we hit the normal one. This is like a live swing off the bat. He did a ton of that earlier today, but granted, it was in the sunshine. A little different when you have that bank of lights to deal with.
So with 2 out, Kyle Tucker looking to do damage on the first pitch. Slider, though, at 92. That's a nice pitch. It's good bite on it inside.
I love when you see players out there early working on things. We saw that with Velasquez bunting today. See that, Joe Adell working on fly balls off the bat. Not a regular controlled swing from a coach, but off the bat as if it was a live swing hit in his way.
Now credit Adell with the quick reflexes to make the adjustment and make the catch. Losing the baseball in the lights, no joke. The 1-2. This baseball sometimes, if it's squared up, been hearing stories of how it has a lot of movement. It has a knuckleball effect a lot of times.
Remember, every baseball is in that humidor, so it's a little bit different than a normal sound, and especially in a place like Southern California where you're dealing with humidity.
Well, how about a strikeout for Elvis Peguero? 1-2-3-8. Perspective, it's time for the top tier play presented by Arco. 6 straight starts for Shohei Ohtani. He has a chance to improve to 9-4. Has 123 strikeouts on the season, only 22 walks. This would be going into the All-Star break. 6 straight starts, 4 in a row, double-digit strikeouts, and also leading off and at the plate, driving in too. It's simply remarkable. He's the unicorn. We got to see it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, second triple of the season, now leading the team in RBIs. I mean, everything. He's done everything, and he's been the guy that the club has needed in these moments where you're struggling to get W's, and he's been able to stop a number of losing streaks and put himself in position, the team, to win here after losing 5 in a row.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Each of the last 6 starts for Ohtani is following a loss. Some have been more than others, including 14. There's been a 3, a 2, a 1, a 4, and tonight a 5.
Well, this is a guy right now you'd love to see just to get locked in again. All-Star last season.
Phil Maton is now on for the Astros. Bottom of the 8th, 7-1 Angels. Popped up. And Pena is there for the out.
out working hard every day. Batting practice, early work, fielding work out there for Walsh. You know it's going to turn around. It's there.
Well, Walsh 0 for 4. Does have a walk. Well, strikeouts brings up Joe Adell, 2 for 4. Another chance for Joe to swing the bat. I think it's a very good right-handed reliever for the Astros and Phil Maton.
And going back to Hyundai Key for the game today, ride with me. Shohei Ohtani said, ride with me. And then the rest of the guys respond behind him, including Joe Adell, Luis Rengifo with some big at-bats and big hits. It all set the tone by Shohei Ohtani, taking the team on his back.
Joe Adell, if that stays fair, it's gone, and it's foul.
That took a ride with me. Oh, that was knocked down the foul pole. It was close enough, almost got it.
Just out in front.
Wow, that's a long way.
You know, that fan just kicking it out there in the 8th inning was not expecting a baseball his way. Ground ball, Bregman. And Adell is retired. 2 away here in the 8th. But impressive. It's going to build confidence. You know, Mike Trout was not available to play. Maybe a pinch hit, but let's say most likely we were not going to see Mike Trout tonight. And Adell got the playing time, and he came through.
You always want to keep that out there for the opposing manager, that Mike Trout would be available.
That's exactly right.
You know how that goes with the hockey thing,
right?
Too. Yeah,
why would
lower body injury?
They say, yeah, he's not gonna play? No, he's like, yeah, I might be ready. You never know. I just hope that Mike's going to be okay. I know he's been dealing with some things, trying to play through it.
Just remember that game on Sunday in Baltimore where you could tell there was a little bit of discomfort, but the way that game was going, Mike Trout told Phil Nevin, I want to be out there. It's not going well. Then, you know, the Angels made a little bit of a comeback in that game, but it was good to see Trouty to try to stay in that game.
Altuve's there, and VR is retired. We'll end the 8th, and we're heading to the 9th. 3 more outs to get for the Angels. And it has been something that has been few and far between, a chance to close out a victory. And Elvis Peguero is there with that opportunity and seal a victory for the Halos and Shohei Ohtani. Need it. You never know what a win can do for the room.
Yeah, just you know, especially when you see balance. I know they're going to talk about that on the post-game show with Frenchie, Fish, and GA. The balance in the lineup. Shohei Ohtani is the story. We know that. There's some balance at the bottom of the order. Angel Velasquez, Luis Rengifo was at the bottom part of the lineup most of the year, but now at the more of a run-producing position, number 3 spot. Joe Adell. Some really good things to see that at the bottom part of the lineup here today.
So Elvis Peguero looking to finish the deal. Not through that top half of the order. The Astros a 1-2-3 with a strikeout, a Tucker. And now he faces Bregman. Now towards right field, Joe Adell going back to the wall at the track, makes the catch. 1 away.
And Joe Adell's got the hand out there, had the feel for where the wall is. He knows the warning track, wonder where the wall is at. Makes that play look rather easily. He has a good idea exactly if he had to jump there, but put that hand out there to brace it to make sure he was ready just in case.
And for sure he could feel that track. That's something that Brandon Marsh told me. I asked him about the nice catch that he made last night running back. He said in his mind, he didn't think he was in Baltimore, but he was thinking of Baltimore where the wall would have been there. But then he felt the track at his feet and he realized, oh, I have a little more room, and made the catch. So Brandon Marsh is playing a Gold Glove left field. And Damon Mayshore told me, why are we going to move him? The guy's playing at an insane level defensively. And now Joe Adell, their best buds. You go, I go. He's back up and got the start tonight in right. Figueroa falls behind 3-0 and loses Gurriel. He was taken all the way, but 4 pitches out of the zone, 1 out walk. And 27,803 treated to a special performance from Shohei Ohtani. Halo fans, if you get the chance and you know Ohtani's pitching, you got to see it for yourself in person. But if not, great to have you here with us on Bally Sports, and I hope to see you here tomorrow. 5 o'clock, just after 5, first pitch. Series finale here.
Good chance to win a series against the Astros.
Oh,
get some momentum going for when the Dodgers come in town. It's going to be a crazy 2 days against the Dodgers. Big crowds expected.
0-2 to Maticevic. The Astros certainly without one of the game's best hitters, and Yordan Alvarez on the IL, hand inflammation, will not be able to take part in the All-Star game. Just lost that vote, very close vote, to Shohei for the DH in the American League. He was trailing going into the final phase. Ohtani fans stepped up. It was like 52-48, very tight. Out towards left field. Marsh under it in fair territory. So 1 out to get to close out this game. The outstanding rookie stands in the way. Jeremy Pena has had a tough night at the dish with 3 strikeouts. Not amazing to think 1 out away from Ohtani's 9th win. And that is the number he reached last year, the entire season.
Getting better and better on the mound.
He lost his first 2 starts. About to go 9-4. Well, Pena, final out. Peguero records it and light up the halo. Ohtani gets the victory. The Angels snap a 5-game losing streak, and they even the series with the Astros 1 game apiece.
An outstanding performance by Shohei Ohtani. Joe Adell, a couple big hits. Luis Rengifo with 3. Shohei Ohtani the story. And I think it's a pretty hard choice here, but I'm going out on a limb here. The Toyota player of the game, Shohei Ohtani. 4th straight start with 10 or more strikeouts. This is the 2nd Angel in club history. The Express, Nolan Ryan, the other, 6 innings, 12 strikeouts. This one earned run allowed for Shohei Ohtani. Just a dominant performance again.
He has won his last 6 starts. Incredible. Drove in 2 with a triple. And the Angels needed every single ounce of that effort. Another look back at the special stuff he had working here, Gooby.
I mean, it's unbelievable how he created that slider depth, and he threw some more cutters. Didn't quite have his usual splitter, but he's thrown 101 miles an hour in the game, touched 100 a couple of different other times, but also, by the way, had a base hit, hit 104 miles per hour exit velocity. What an effort for Shohei.
Oh, how about this? Standing by right now with Erica Weston is Shohei and Ipe.
All right, thanks very much, Patrick. Shohei, a dominant outing once again for you on the mound. Just how much pride do you take in being able to lift this team to a win each time you take the mound?
毎回連敗ストッパーになってますけど、それについてはどう思ってますか？
苦しい試合多いですけど、なんとか粘って今日も勝ってたので、また明日切り替えて頑張りたいなと思います。
I mean, we're going through a rough stretch right now, but glad we won today, and hopefully we can start something.
Great with the bat as well, the 2-run triple in the second inning. How much do you love being able to get your own run support when you're starting?
2点3塁打打ちましたけど、自分の試合でそういう打点上げるのはどういう気持ちいいですか？
自分が投げてるに関わらず常に得点圏を返したいなと思っているので、いい打撃ができてよかったなと思ってます。
Regardless of whether I'm throwing or not, I always want to get that, drive that run in scoring position. So I was glad I was able to do that today.
Last one for you, Shohei. 4 straight games with double-digit strikeouts. This has been an unbelievable run, how you've been pitching. How do you describe this last month, the way that you've been pitching?
4試合連続2桁三振をピッチャーとしてやってますけど、いいその調子の秘訣は何でしょうか？
積極的に攻められているのがいいところかなと思うので、奪三振は流れを持ってくるのにすごくいいアウトだなと思うので、続けられるように頑張りたいなと思います。
I'm just trying to stay aggressive in the zone, and I feel like strikeouts could bring the momentum to our side, and that's going well so far.
It's incredible to watch. Thank you for the time. Shohei Ohtani, everybody.
Oh, Erica, thanks very much. A great thrill for the fans here to hear that interview.
To see that and a smile on Shohei's face. Phenomenal. Good job, Erica, on that interview.
Yeah, thank you, Erica. Gooby, thank you, pal. Great job. We'll see you tomorrow.
Go, Patty. Oh, that was fun. He's unbelievable. The unicorn that he is.
He improves to 9-4. He's won 6 games in a row and 4 in a row with double-digit strikeouts. Otsukare-sama deshita, Ohtani-san. Stay tuned for our Angels Live post-game show. Our entire crew has you covered next, and we'll see you tomorrow.